going against his team.
Well, I didn't want to discuss any of the others because they've all gone in the past, but now you bring them up, it makes me think that, hey, by the way, maybe there has been a few more than that should have gone against us. The recent ones are hard to take.
Everton say they're surprised and disappointed. Michael Keane's red against Wolves the other night wasn't overturned by the FA. He'll be missing for their upcoming fixtures against Sunderland, Villa and Leeds. Now, some Arsenal pundits have been sticking up for Gabriel Martinelli. He says he's deeply sorry for hauling an injured Conor Bradley off the pitch in last night's goalless draw with Liverpool. Emmanuel Petit's told us it's a good point and has praised Mikel Arteta's composure in the technical area.
Last season or 2 seasons ago, he was losing his temper on the bench. And yesterday, I think, and especially the last few weeks, I think he's controlling himself, you know. I think the way he's sending messages to his players is different.
Fabian Schär may be able to play again this season. Eddie Howe says his ankle injury isn't as bad as first feared after he was taken off on Wednesday on a stretcher. And Luke Littler signed the biggest equipment deal in darts history with Target Darts. The 18-year-old will get £20 million over 10 years from Target, on top of his existing deals with Xbox, KP Nuts and Boohoo Man. Get all the latest on talkSPORT.com.
talkSPORT News.
Storm Goretti continues to wreak havoc on the roads, runways and trains while tens of thousands of homes are without power, and X seems to have changed its policy for its AI tool, but there's still been a backlash. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Rain or shine, our mobile tyre fitting service comes to you, so you can stay on the sofa this winter. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Storm Goretti will slowly edge away, but rain and some snow continuing across the east of England. Elsewhere, a mixture of clear and sunny spells with a scattering of wintry showers in places.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon it's the original Boohoo Man, of course. Never mind Luke Littler after the week we've had football-wise, especially you, Andy.
Oh,
you took it well, didn't you, that defeat to Fulham, I think? Anyway, what's coming up?
Coming up over the next 3 hours, Stan Collymore previews the third round weekend. Wrexham's FA Cup legend Mickey Thomas looks ahead to tonight's game against Forest. And Jermaine Pennant gives us his verdict on Arsenal v Liverpool.
We'll also have more of Andy's nonsense by numbers and the former World Football Freestyle champion turned property tycoon Liv Cook tells us about her new TV show.
An amazing woman. There's all this plus the clips of the week, the Fools panel, and NBA legend told off by his mum.
Yeah.
And Todd Mlin's American Sports Roundup.
The great Steve Kerr, great coach and great player, of course. Told off by his old mum, and she will be old, wouldn't she? Really?
Yeah, she'll be, yeah.
So it's 4 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Yes, good afternoon, Paul. And I am in a bit of a sporting funk at the moment.
Really, with the cricket and the football. We've got some good cricket news coming up in the next 5 minutes. That'll cheer you up.
I stayed up to watch the highlights in a very macabre way, actually. Not the highlights, the last day's play. 'Cause I thought, this might be the last day of Ashes I ever watched.
You think you're getting to the stage where you start to think this could be...
another 4 years. I thought, well, blimey, I better watch it.
Oh, yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. Blimey.
That's what a funk I'm in after the...
Yeah.
Honestly... Cucurella.
And so,
I don't get these players. I don't understand when you're the last man. The whole pitch is a penalty area when you're the last man.
It is. That's true.
You cannot foul. It's like you've got to let it go. You can't nibble it. You've got to let him through. I just, Sanchez might have saved that. Even if he didn't, you're 1-0 down with 65 minutes to go. 25% of Chelsea's games have ended up with 10 men. It's ridiculous. But we haven't got a discipline problem, apparently. I think we have got a discipline problem.
Well, that's something for the new manager to sort out,
The
isn't it?
refs must collect, like red cards. Have you had a Chelsea red card yet? They probably go around.
When they get together.
But the season's so distant.
Well, we know they talk, don't they? They're bound to. I mean,
Well, they
it's
could
the
do.
thing. We're told they always work in isolation, but
No, they don't. It's rubbish.
they will say things like, "Have you refereed that?" Whatever the player is saying, he's a piece of work.
Have you given a
Doesn't shut
red
up
card
for
to
5
Chelsea?
minutes.
It's part of
I
the
haven't.
collection.
No, I haven't. Yeah, if you have, let us know. Talksport.com, text
I've worked it
829.
out. The season's so bad. That I'm enjoying it so little.
Oh dear!
I've decided that I'm.
Aren't you the world champions?
No, but that's what's made it so bad, isn't it? I mean, your team can talk as well. Also,
Oh, I know. Tell me about it.
The expectation, having won that, you thought, it's going to be quite a good season, isn't it? I think, in fact, it's been an absolute disaster, isn't it? I've worked it out.
What are you in the league?
Oh, no, but we're dropping like a stone. I think we're 8th now.
You got a new manager uplift.
I doubt it. It doesn't matter who the manager is. Until they get rid of
Liam's not listening.
You've got like 5 bosses. What organisation can thrive with 5 people? Too many voices, too many opinions. It's a disaster, really.
Right.
But I've worked it out. I'd like to buy a perfectly rendered,
Yeah.
not like FIFA, but like a perfectly rendered AI 38-game Premier League season where Chelsea win the league. So each time, and it matches the fixture list. So like if we're playing Fulham, for example, I watch the AI version where Chelsea win.
Right.
After a 38-game season, I'm quite happy we've won the league.
Well, it's a bit of an empty.
Well, not really, because I ignore the rest of it. I don't take any notice. I don't.
So you don't listen to the noise.
No,
You don't listen to the real
I don't
world.
watch Match of
You
the
just
Day.
enjoy AI victories.
Be good, wouldn't it?
What affects your mood worse? I mean, I've known you for a long time, and I'd say actually cricket does. I'd say England cricket. You're more angry about that than you often are football.
Don't know really.
Don't get into another sport because that will see you
It's a bit of both.
Don't suddenly get into
I tell you what,
polo.
it was an interesting revelation last night. The fact that the VAR were reviewing their decision after they'd given it. That doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence.
No, not
Gary
so.
Neville says, they're looking at that one again. And they've given the decision. So they obviously thought, we must have got that wrong. That was the penalty on Wirtz, which probably was a penalty.
Yeah.
But, then again, he got the offside.
Well, we're going to have Jermaine Pennant joining us for a chat.
Oh, I've got one more comment about last night.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes, Arteta, I see, was booked for leaving his technical area. Blimey, I'd book him if he was actually in the area. He's never in it. How can you book him?
I was saying to you earlier on, it's been vexing us all, of course. Why were there Arsenal cups in the Bournemouth dressing room? And we know Arsenal played there recently, but why do Arsenal bring their own cups? I mean, is this the kind of another Arteta marginal gains thing? It's just the difference sometimes. Remember, boys, we're drinking out of our own cups.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also it's the amount that you get, maybe the amount of coffee that comes in that little cup after.
You think that's so? This is the difference. This is why they're top of the league. Marginal gains.
No,
anyway, I said we'd have
the reason
some.
they're top of the league. The rest of the league's terrible.
That's partly that. They're the two reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jermaine Pennant joining us for a chat later on. Well, very shortly, actually, to tell us what he made of it all. Man who played for both clubs. But I said we had some good cricket news for you, and we need some of that. John Norman, our chief cricket correspondent, has popped in. Hello, John.
Hello.
So you bring us news.
I do. News. Well, if you thought that the England cricket team were going to go into hibernation after their horrendous tour to Australia, you were wrong.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they're back in action.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks' time. Less than 2 weeks' time. And delighted to say talkSPORT have got the rights for the white ball tour of Sri Lanka.
Excellent.
3 ODIs, 3 T20s. It, of course, comes just before the T20 World Cup, which is also going to be held in Sri Lanka and also India. And full-strength sides. So Harry Brook's going to be captaining all 6 matches.
Yeah. Night out permitting, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were, of course...
Probably less to get up to in Colombo, I don't know.
Was it the Mahela Jayawardena and Kumar Sangakkara have their own crab restaurant.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's called House of Crab.
That's quite a good one.
Well, I'm glad they went.
That's what it says
I'm
on the
glad they
tin.
went. I'm glad they went singular rather than plural. So, maybe the England boys will go there for a noosa like night
Do you
out.
think this is the end of Booze Ball?
Yeah, I do think it's the end of Booze Ball.
Honestly, I find I'm thinking about the Ashes. Wasn't it? There were moments where we could have done better.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were in games. It's so frustrating, and the treatment of Show. But I just do not get why did they groomed him for 2 years to play in that game in Sydney. Why didn't he play? He couldn't have been worse than Jacks, could he? Couldn't have been.
No, I totally agree. I think
So
that
why, you know,
they blinked.
And he's also the thing about him is he's useless in county cricket. He's useless but he is a big game player. He gets good players out.
They blinked. When it comes down to it, they should have gone with Bethel earlier, and they should have made a decision with Shobashir earlier and stuck to it. If they blinked, you know, and the mixed messages that came out of the dressing room, I was confused. Oh, hang on, are we supposed to now be blocking it out, Chris Tavares style?
Yeah.
You know, putting all, you know, so much importance on our wicket, or are we supposed to be going harder? I think there's a little bit of a difference in approach. And this is why this tour actually is going to be fascinating, because the pressure on Brendan McCullum, who of course was made, you know, when he started out in 2022, he was test match coach only. Then he was given both roles. And so he's going to go from the Ashes, and within, 10 days, he's going to have to front up, deal with all that needs to be done.
How is Brooke captaincy material? I mean, he's looking, he isn't. He's obviously got a load of talent, which he seems happy to squander at the moment.
Yeah.
But, you know, but he's not a captain.
No, he isn't.
He's just not.
I went up to his press conference in April in Headingley when he was announced as captain, and I spoke to him, and I came away from that, and I said it on air, and I spoke to, and I thought, I'm not sure about this.
No.
I think they might have made an error of judgment. He is quality. I mean, he's performed some of the best innings I've ever seen. Unfortunately, not in Australia.
No.
But yeah, just let him bat and concentrate on that.
Goffey, we spoke to Darren Goff yesterday, and he knows Harry Brook obviously very well from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And he was saying it was so out of character that. And you just wonder if the environment, some of these guys have just got sort of caught up in the environment, because he said Harry Brooks, he basically said it's not that kind of lad, the sort of stuff that went on in New Zealand.
They're not being coached, you know. Brendan McCullum saying, "Oh, go out and express yourself." That isn't coaching.
No, he's a mentor.
Not.
He's no coaching. When you look at what Andy Flower used to be as a coach, a successful coach for England, Andy Flower, and has been a successful coach moving on outside of the England. I remember Kevin Peterson had and these two fell out massively.
Did you see KP this morning calling for him to come back?
Really? No, I didn't see it. Well, so KP had a perceived problem against left arm spin. I don't know if you remember, but he was, you know, averaging 50, 60 against every other form of bowling, apart from against left arm spin. Left arm spin, he just kept getting him out. So what did Andy Flower do? He took him to the nets. And he worked on it for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, that's
coaching.
That's coaching,
That's
right?
true.
And look, you talk about the culture. Now, the culture of that dressing room did bring about an improvement in 2022 and 2023. But within that dressing room, you had Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, Johnny Bairstow, Joe Root. You had some brilliant players who were
some
very
senior pros
experienced
as well,
right? Those players have all left now. And now it's kind of left to the players that were there, were coming through at the ranks, to step up and be those players. But of course, that's easier said than done.
So, when does it get underway?
Gets underway on 22nd of Jan. So it's 3 ODIs in Colombo. And then they head to Kandy for the T20 series. So,
And what sort of times can we bring these to the TalkSport
Good
listeners?
times.
Brilliant times, yeah. So 9 o'clock in the morning for the ODIs, and I think 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Brilliant.
And I'm going to get you a commentary clip as well. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm going to get you a commentary clip because you know, 2018, TalkSport we got our first rights in 15 years, and Sri Lanka was our first series. There's a lot of attention, a lot of pressure on us, and Mark Nicholas, to this day, I think it's one of the greatest bits of cricket commentary I've ever heard, when he successfully navigates from a dog being on the field of play to Johnny Bairstow scoring a century within the same commentary clip. It's masterful. So I'll dig that out for you. And you can,
All right, brilliant.
The studio's
just falling off there.
It's starting to fall apart.
Big Mark Nicholas fan.
Yeah. What about that? Mark Nicholas is
sensational, isn't it?
the influencer. Mark. Maybe it's that dog. The dogs come from Pet Cemetery.
The way it's rocking, I'm going to be hypnotised.
Yeah, look at Andy. Yeah, that's right.
This is good radio.
Anyway,
Part of the
John,
studio.
brilliant. That's good
Yep,
news.
thanks,
So
guys.
we look forward to that, and it'll be our usual team.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be broadcasting on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Following on podcasts will be released every day of the tour.
Right.
So,
And there'll be a lot of eyes on it after what's happened in Australia. People are going to want to see a reaction, aren't they?
well, absolutely they are. And also, of course, remember, for all the talk of improving the England setup, this is a white ball team that has not won much cricket in the last few years. So that's under pressure as well. But they've got a full strength team. So
No excuses.
no excuse.
We're going to have a deep dive into the world of English cricket with, excuse me, Graham Swan. Swanee's here on Monday. Going to spend some time with us and take some questions from you as well. So for now, thank you, John.
Yeah,
Good
cheers,
news.
guys.
We're going to bring you that tour, white ball tour of Sri Lanka here on Talk Sport. Jermaine Pennant joins us. And we'll be looking back on last night's game between Arsenal and Liverpool with a man who played for both clubs. We're here with Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next up, Tool Station.
this could be an even bigger statement, taking 3 points from Liverpool on their way to taking the Premier League trophy from Liverpool.
And then it's a chip by Bradley off the bar, comes back to Gakpo inside the 6-yard box. He tries to shoot, it's blocked. I think he's hurt himself, Bradley. He's landed awkwardly and hurt himself. That's why he's just nudged that ball out of play.
Well, it's his knee, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. And immediately...
Oh, who's doing that?
Martinelli's pushed him off the pitch. And that is the final act of the match. And after City and Aston Villa dropped points yesterday, Arsenal do the same at home against Liverpool. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0.
I'm still gobsmacked that Gabriel Martinelli wasn't sent off there. You drop a ball on an injured player and then you grab hold of him while he's on the ground.
That was a little kick up the backside to Arsenal, I think, to say you're not going to get it all your own way even here, because there's a lot of good teams around.
Throws the ball at him and then he tries to manhandle him off the pitch. The boy's career could be in the balance. Absolutely disgusting.
If you cannot win it at the end, we have to take the point. The players deserve a massive credit and praise for what they've done in this Christmas period, in those 6 matches, and we come out of that in a really strong position.
Yes, wasn't the greatest game in the world, which meant there was a lot more focus on what happened at the end of it with Gabriel Martinelli and Conor Bradley. Joining us now, a man who played for both Arsenal and Liverpool, it is Jermaine Pennant. Hi, Jermaine.
Hi, good afternoon, gents.
We'll get you weigh in on that first, because it seems to be the biggest talking point. I mean, what was your take on that? We know Martinelli has subsequently apologised. He clearly didn't know how bad it was. It wasn't his finest hour, was it? But what was your reading of it?
Well, when I saw it, I was in disbelief to see a professional footballer literally do that. Look, you don't know what sort of injury he would have sustained, whether it was a knee or an ankle at the time. But as professional footballers, we know when a player goes down holding something with nobody around him, with no challenge, we know that's serious.
Yeah.
You know, when players go down, you get a challenge or a tackle, someone's pushed you over, you're trying to waste a bit of time. We know those little dark arts. But when nobody's around you, when he just literally kicked it out of play and gone down, as professional footballers, he's not a child, he's not a youngster, he's a senior player. He's been around the game a long time. He knows. So he would have seen it in training, himself, with other players, that when we go down untouched, it is a serious matter. It's not a fake. It's not nothing time wasting. It's a serious matter. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, the player will be coming off the pitch.
Well, I was going to say that too.
He knows that. He's admitted that and he's apologised. I don't know, in modern life, what more can you do? Should we get the stocks out, start throwing fruit at him? I mean, honestly, the pile-on is unbelievable. Yeah. You know, people do fake injury. It was a tense situation. You can't just isolate the situation. I'm not making any excuse for it. It was really poor behaviour.
I just think...
he knows that himself.
The question I was going to ask you, and you've kind of answered it really, is that I kind of sense that pros know this is what the guys on the sports bar were talking, Dino and Jason
we all
last
knew.
night.
You could see.
But kind of pros know, if you're there, you know a difference between someone who's feigning it and someone who is badly hurt.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's like a cardinal sin to, you wince when you see someone, whether you're watching it in TV, whether you're in the stand, whether you're on the bench, whether you're on the pitch, you actually wince when you see either a member of a team go down or the opposition go down, just on his own. You wince thinking, oh no, because no matter if it's your enemy, your rivals, you don't want to see fellow professionals, go down in that manner, because like I said, it's usually serious and that could be season over. Is it going to hamper his career? There's so many fundamentals that could play into it. So for him to do that, I know it's heat at the moment, but for him to then bounce the ball on his head or on his wherever he did, then try and push him the way he did. It wasn't a little shove. It was literally, dragging him off the pitch.
Yeah.
With his knee. We don't know what kind of situation it was in. So, it was a really poor judgment. And I'm surprised he didn't get sent off, because you can't do that with a ball anyway, and you can't manhandle another player. And secondly, I'm quite surprised that another Liverpool player didn't get booked themselves. If I was on the pitch, Martinelli's my size, so I would have been right in the mix of that. If it was Gabriel, I'd have been sending for Virgil.
I did wonder if that happened in the 70s and Tommy Smith was playing for Liverpool, that could have been a bit evil.
Going back to the game, though.
There would have been red cards.
I mean, Arsenal clearly the best team in the league. Their position shows that. But if they do have a fault, it is that they move the ball really quite slowly at times, and they're not that difficult to defend against, I don't think. They had that sort of burst in the start of the match, but after that, They didn't offer much.
Once they rode it out, that first 20-odd minutes, Jermaine, Liverpool coped pretty well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think the first 15 to 20, 25 minutes, I was sitting on the edge of my seat thinking, this is going to be a long evening. Because we couldn't, Arsenal were pressing high, winning the ball back. We was resorting to long balls. And then back the wave came again. And I think you can't do this for 90 minutes and try and keep a clean sheet. Second half, Arsenal just sat back deep. And Liverpool was like, oh, finally, thank you. Give us some breathing space. Give us a bit of time. And what I'm seeing in a pattern is that, lesser teams, Arsenal wipe the floor with the like I said, the passing's quick, the intensity's there. When you start seeing against the big teams, it's like a bit of frightening coming. Like they get a little bit scared, as in like, okay, a little bit more timid. That's not the Arsenal that we've been seeing for the past half of the season. And they kind of show that sometimes when they play against the big teams.
There's been a fair bit of focus on Gyökeres as well after the game and his performance. What did you make of that, Jermaine?
Look, it's what we've been seeing. Unfortunately, I said this at the start of the season. I said, don't expect Gyökeres to come to the Premier League and try and get the same numbers that he did in Portugal. Unfortunately, those two leagues are miles apart. The defenders, the players that he's playing against are miles apart. You see him in Portugal running through players, beating players. You can't do that in the Premier League. You can't do that against these English teams. It's too strong. And it's kind of the same with Darwin Núñez. He's putting in 35 goals in 38 appearances. He comes to the Premier League. We gave him 3 seasons and it didn't work out. And unfortunately, you look at Gyökeres' past, it's not like he's come from a flourished career. He's playing in League One 3 years ago at Coventry, failed at Brighton, and then made his name in Portugal. So to expect massive things now in the Premier League is I said this at the start of the season. He's probably third choice striker when they're all for it.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money for him, but there was one point, like Rice burst through, he was down the left, you knew he was going to put the ball in, and he just didn't gamble, and I think most Kane would be just going for it, and that was the biggest indictment.
Attacking the space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly, and that's what he's bought for. Arsenal have been crying out for a number 9 who gets in the box, those tap-ins, who crave on scraps, and that's just a player whose confidence is shot. If he was scoring goals, he'll be dying to get in there, knowing that he's going to get at the end of it. But, unfortunately, the media is very cruel out there. So he will hear the comments, he will see what the papers are saying, and all this will play into his mind. And obviously, not scoring goals, his confidence is literally shot. So he's not got that eagerness to get in there. He's just like, he's a bit of a ghost in a standby at the moment.
I mean, you kind of wonder who comes out of it better. I mean, Arsenal would have taken being 6 points clear at this stage, I'm sure. But it was it was a solid performance by Liverpool.
Liverpool will be top.
Yeah.
They'll be 4th.
Yeah, good point for Liverpool. Top. I mean, they're 14 points behind Arsenal. It's interesting to see how much ground they can make up. But
they won't make up that much.
Top 4 is probably the best they can hope for, Jermaine, you think, Liverpool?
100%. That's their aim, is a top 4 and maybe on the way win silverware. I think their best chances are probably that is Champions League. And the reason why I say that is that suits Liverpool more better than the Premier League. Playing the Premier League, a lot of teams do that low block. Liverpool struggle. When you go into the Champions League, teams are better, teams are more expansive. Liverpool will get that space that they're craving. So top 4 and some silverware.
Nice one, Joint. You're on Inside Liverpool, the new podcast, which is out now. So you've done a deep dive into the game, yeah?
Correct. We just finished filming earlier on.
Okay, you recovered from the darts yet? You've been practicing a lot. You're practicing for next year.
I've complained to the management. Dean Saunders needs to get sacked.
Cheers, Jermaine. All the best.
Cheers, gents. Great show.
There we are, Jermaine Pennant, there, former Arsenal and Liverpool winger. Thanks to him. And we're going to turn to the FA Cup next, and we got live commentary this evening of an absolute corker: Wrexham versus Nottingham Forest. And who better to talk to than the real FA Cup hero of yore? That is Mickey Thomas joining us. We're bound to squeeze in a bit of Manchester United chat as well, but Mickey joining us for a chat in a few moments' time.
Gabriel Martinelli's been called an idiot, a disgrace, classless and disgusting by various pundits. He's deeply sorry for throwing the ball at an injured Conor Bradley before hauling him off the pitch. Ray Parlour says Martinelli didn't realise how bad Bradley's knee was.
He will be devastated this morning, and I'm really pleased he's apologised straight away to him.
Yeah.
Which you do, you know, that's the first thing you do. The heat of the moment, people make mistakes, and Martinelli certainly made a big mistake there.
Bradley was seen leaving the Emirates on crutches. Arsenal's 0-0 draw means they missed the chance to go 8 points clear. Liverpool look more solid at the back, but still lack cutting edge up top.
We struggle much more than Arsenal against low blocks. And there are 20 goals difference between them and us in set pieces. But tonight we've shown again that we are still a team that everyone needs to reckon with.
Meanwhile, Man City have confirmed the signing of Antoine Semenyo for £64 million on a 5-year deal. Christian Romero will stay on as Spurs captain despite his apparent criticism of the board on Instagram. Thomas Frank says Romero's being dealt with. Nick Kyrgios won't play in this month's Australian Open. He's not ready for 5-set matches. 40-year-old Stan Wawrinka's got a wild card ahead of his retirement at the end of the season. And Ben Stokes is ready to have tough conversations with England's Test players after their disastrous Ashes tour. He also admits his own performances weren't up to standard. Meanwhile, Aussie batter Steve Smith refused to confirm if he'll be available for next summer's Ashes in England. For more, head to talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube channel.
The FA Cup, the oldest and the best. Plymouth, not Liverpool, out of the FA Cup. Shrewsbury Town are in the box seat, and we could be on for a cup set for the ages. Got on! 1-0 Charlton.
It is arguably the most open FA Cup in years.
Watkins turning and shooting brilliantly. Edge of the area, thumping it in. That is a terrific goal. Swings a dangerous ball in. Voltamana! And the double for Newcastle United.
And he digs it round him and slots it in. And Portsmouth lead.
You've got to love football. You've got to love the FA Cup.
And the Eagles have landed it. Crystal Palace win the FA Cup for the very first time.
Yes, the FA Cup third round is back a week later than usual. And we've got it covered. We've got so many matches for you. Kicking off tonight with Wrexham versus Nottingham Forest. Before we chat to Mickey Thomas, let's take you back to the 4th of Jan 1992 at the Racecourse Ground when Wrexham played Arsenal. It was Mick's second spell at the club where he was already a legend. And let's bring you that infamous moment, that fantastic free kick.
If Mickey Thomas feels he's got his score to settle against Arsenal, lost in a cup final against them when he played for Manchester United, and it's Thomas who takes it. Oh, what a goal, Mickey Thomas! He's done it, the magic little man at the venerable age of 37.
I think he'd take 37 now. Good afternoon, Mickey.
Good afternoon, guys.
Yeah, happy memories. I mean, you've probably had it a lot in the last couple of weeks since you know it was Wrexham was definitely in the third round. But how do you look back on that?
Well, obviously, that for me, one of the best moments of my life at 37, going on 90. It was a great time to get a goal, and the cameras were there as well, which was a big bonus for me as well. And obviously, it's never forgotten. And I watch it at least 300 times a day still. So,
yeah. It's I mean, yeah, you had such a history with the club, didn't you? 2 spells there. That was just your second spell, but first time around, you played so many games for the team, didn't you? For the club, 230 matches.
I think it's 349.
That's including cups and everything, is it? I take it. I just went
so,
league.
Yeah, but I had a good time there. Obviously, eventually went to Manchester United. Obviously, they came in for me, but they were in the Championship at the time when I left that football club. But obviously, different now. They're in the Championship with a lot more money and a lot more quality, for sure.
Yeah, it's been a great story, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen that. I'm sure you've witnessed that transformation. You keep in touch with people there and stuff. And we've had the TV documentary. And I think a lot of Wrexham fans were a little bit suspicious of the motives of the owners, but they've come through for you, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been incredible. I mean, they've got good people around them. I think that's the most important thing. They're not over all the time. They do come over as much as they can, but the people in this country know what they're doing. And, you know, I call it a mini Man United. It's so well organised, everything's done to perfection. And, you know, they've got their own plane. They go to away games in a plane. It's absolutely crazy.
What have you made of this first season in the Championship? They were never going to race away with it. I mean, there was going to be a levelling off at some point, and the Championship will find you out. But they're doing pretty well. They're on a good run at the moment, and they're in the frame for the playoffs potentially.
Well, they're 1 point off it. They're in 9th position at this moment in time, but you know, they've got good quality. I mentioned the squad. It's a big squad they've got. You know, one thing I like about the man, he can manage it to keep everyone happy. When it doesn't play him on a regular basis, he does make lots of changes, and it's been very, very good for the team as well. So, yeah, I mean, can they get up? Nothing is impossible with this football club. Certainly with the owners behind them, I think nothing is possible. I think they've got great players, as I said. That they've obviously got Kiefer Moore's not fit tonight, I don't think, but they've got good people they brought in, and I think that's the quality that you need in this Championship to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, Forest won last time out, but they've lost 4 on the bounce before that. So.
And the league, because they've lost those games.
Their priority, yeah.
The league's going to be their priority.
Well,
yeah, you would expect he'll make a fair few changes tonight. I mean, Wrexham probably won't, will they? They'll probably go out pretty much full strength.
I think both sides. I think they need the result as well. I think to keep their cup. They beat West Ham and watched that game the other night with interest in that. You know, they did well to come back from the goal down. But this is different. This is a different environment. This is a FA Cup third round. This has got a history. You know, a big shock results. I'm not saying it's going to be a big because Wrexham in the Championship now, but you know, Wrexham aren't favourites because Forest are a Premier League side. But the way Wrexham, they're on a good run. Nottingham Forest in different seasons so far for them. You know, you wouldn't back against Wrexham to win this game.
Are you going to be there tonight, Mickey?
I certainly am, yeah. I'm certainly going to be there. I'll be shouting on Wrexham, come on, the boys, yeah. I am confident, very, very confident.
That's good. Well, we'll see.
We must ask you about Manchester United. As we said, you left Wrexham to go there. It's been another turbulent period for them. What have you made of the last sort of week or so, and their plans, maybe Gunnar Solskjaer coming back?
Well, I think it's difficult, obviously. I mean, it's disappointing that a man has lost his job. Obviously, I met him quite a few times. He's a very nice man. But unfortunately, you have to win football games. Manchester United is the biggest club, the bigger pressure club than anywhere else in the world. And you have to win games. And when that happens, if it doesn't happen, you're on the radar, then you're in a little bit more pressure. And who did they get in? I'm not sure whether Darren Fletcher could take over. He's already had one game in charge. Would it be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I really don't know who that person is going to be, but they obviously have to do it fairly quickly and make that decision so everyone can settle down.
Interesting shout from Roy Keane after the Arsenal-Liverpool game last night. Eddie Howe, he said he'd be in favour of. He likes Eddie. He said he's a kind of calm influence. He thinks he's done a good job at Newcastle. I'm sure Newcastle fans will say hands off, and Eddie will just say, I've got a job to do here.
I think England fans might have a say.
Yeah, that's true. An interesting shout, though, Mickey.
I'd certainly agree that it's an interesting shout as well, because if Manchester United do come knocking, I'm sure he will answer that door. And I think it's a massive move. But the pressure's different. I know you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say, but there's no pressure like it is at Manchester United than anywhere else. I really believe that. I'm involved with that club, and I've seen it over the years in change of managers, personnel so much, because they want to get back to where they were, and it's not that easy. It's been proven in the last few years. It's not easy.
So, it's interesting that. So what do you need? Do you need someone who's been in that environment, maybe as a player, and has done well as a manager, that knows about the pressure? Or do you need somebody who's a big-name manager who's been in lots of pressurised environments?
I think what you need is recruitment. Their recruitment's been so poor. It doesn't matter who manages the team. They haven't got a midfield. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who goes.
Look, better players would certainly help. But I'm wondering, someone like an Ancelotti who's been there and done it, I'm not saying he's going to take the job, but for example, that's a very seasoned, but he's not Manchester United. Or do you go for someone who's steeped in it and knows the pressures?
Well, I think that's a very good shot, Ancelotti. He has that experience. He's been at Real Madrid, been everywhere, hasn't he? And I think that's what someone to go into that club and think, forget about winning. I'm going to get it right. I want to do it my way. I'm going to build a team here for the future. But that doesn't happen, as you well know. If you lose one game, you're back in the headlines again. So I don't know how you're going to do it. You know, I do like the Ancelotti one. I think that's a good option. Would it be someone that played for the club? We've had Ollie before. Would they go that way again? I really don't know this moment in time. But
I came up with that. I came up with that at the top of my head, and I'm thinking, actually, if Brazil have a bad World Cup, he could be on the market again, and he's just the sort of man with no pulse that you kind of need, that doesn't get affected by the noise in the way maybe
he does know the Premier League as well. He does know the Premier League as well, doesn't he? So yeah, that's not a bad shout. I'm not going to bet on it. Don't worry about that. but yeah, it's about winning games. At that club, you have to win games. You lose one or two, then you're on the radar. Then you're in trouble, and that's the problem. Social media is so powerful now; it dictates whether a manager stays in the job or not.
Well, enjoy the game tonight, Mickey. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks very much.
A pleasure to be on board, guys. Take care.
All the best. The great Mickey Thomas there, Wrexham legend. He'll be there for the game against Forest tonight. As well, our top commentary team bring you that one, kicking off a massive weekend of FA Cup commentary. Jim Proudfoot is going to join us later on in his way to Wrexham. He's alongside Tash Dowie, former England striker, Hugh Rosencroft, your host. All the build-up from 7, as we said, just a whole raft of games, including my lot as well, and your lot, Andy, tomorrow evening, Tottenham Villa and Charlton Chelsea. We're going to be joined by James Brown, a former editor of Loaded and GQ. He's put together a sort of autobiography scrapbook, if you will.
It's really good.
Zine Age Kicks, and he was at the game between Newcastle and Leeds the other night. He's a big Leeds fan. We'll talk a bit of Leeds with James as well. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Toolstation.
Be there for Super Bowl 60 on talkSPORT.
Now, our latest competition has landed. This is your chance to be at the greatest show on earth, the Super Bowl. Blimey, on Sunday, the 8th of February, as well as a pair of tickets, it says here. Tickets, not just tickets.
Oh, they're the best type of tickets.
Oh, they're the best sort of tickets. We're chucking in flights to San Francisco, 3 nights accommodation and spending money, all covered. Listen up, here's how to enter, Andy.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines closed 22nd of January 2026 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus UK residents only. It's a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now. Good prize.
Yeah, good luck.
I've done the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that must be a good thing. Have you ever been to... James Brown's joined us in the studio. He did lots of weird and wonderful things when he edited and co-created Loaded. Did you ever go to a Super Bowl?
Did I ever go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Did you? You never got the chance, didn't you? Loaded you.
Leeds aren't in the Super Bowl. You're going to go there, isn't
If we were, we'd be in like the second tier. They're not so Super Bowl. They're not bad bowl.
They're not bad, yeah, not 3 bad bowl.
Now they're having a good season.
James has put together Zine Age Kicks, visual evidence of a life in music and magazines. And it's kind of like a sort of autobiography come scrapbook of his time as a journalist on The Enemy and Sounds, and then on Loaded and GQ and Jack and other things. So it's it's beautifully put together. It looks great.
Thank you. It's designed by Matt Sankey, who did a lot of the Oasis, Verve, and more recently some Charlatans work. He's just a mate. And you know yourself, Paul, from when we were on back in the days, you were on 90 Minutes, I was on Loaded. You get inundated with free product. When I was on The Enemy, we obviously got endless amounts of free records. And even if you don't try and develop a collection, you just end up with masses of stuff.
Yeah.
And when I'd finished my book, Animal House, all the stuff I'd got out to reference and remind myself, I thought I could photograph all of this and it will make a different thing. So that's the mag, Zine Age Kicks.
I describe it as a visual treat.
What was your happiest time?
Pardon?
What would you say when you look back on your journalistic career, which was pretty starred? What was your happiest time? When were you the happiest? When you were sort of jobbing writer on The Enemy, would you say?
Yeah, The Enemy. I mean, people always think I'll say Loaded because Loaded was such an explosion and an unexpected success. But, I mean, I was on the dole. I was doing a bit of freelance writing. I got a job.
You started your own fanzine,
I did my own fanzine. And there's a lot about the fanzines in the 80s in this magazine. And then I got into some freelance writing for Sounds and Zigzag and Jamming. And then I got poached by The Enemy. They came to me.
Yeah.
And it was probably like when the likes of Ian Wright or, remember Ferdinand or Stuart Pearce?
We're playing non-league.
Yeah.
And then suddenly,
I went from doing my fanzine and a bit of freelancing to given offered a staff job on The Enemy when I was 21.
What was the first pinch me moment? Probably sent off on some junket to the States. What was the first one where you thought, blimey, I can't believe I'm doing this?
Well, before Enemy on Sounds, when the editor said to me, do you want to go to Holland with Pop Will Eat Yourself? Who at that point were a little band I was championing. I couldn't believe it. And then there were moments later on The Enemy in Los Angeles with people like the Pixies or the Beastie Boys. I went on tour with Metallica covering the support act, The Cult. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the main thing was I was so young. I was in my early 20s. I was telling my girlfriend the other night, the amount of free hotels and breakfast and room service. It was like...
It was a different time.
It was just a charmed life, being a music fan. And then, just being off around the world, right? Interviewing your heroes, writing about people, that music that you love. I was basically doing what other music fans around the country were doing, but they'd be chatting in the pub with their mates where I'd be writing it down with, my colleagues. And,
were there bands or acts that you didn't get on with? Did you found yourself on a tour?
A few times when I was first starting.
Punched?
Yeah.
Who, do you want to tell us who might remember?
A few indie bands.
You remember. That tells you everything, doesn't it?
I have no filter. I still struggle to not say things you shouldn't say, but I remember a guy punching me in Manchester and another idiot trying to wrap my neck around with a chain. Because I was very
It's all grist of the mill, though, because it's sort of gonzo and you can write about it, can't you?
I was confrontational in the way I wrote, so I don't mind. Fair play to them. If you're going to write it aggressively, some people are going to get upset if you say the singer's too fat. I mean, but I was... You got to remember
be kind. You can do that now.
I was talking about.
Yeah, it's a different time.
I was getting awards, but I couldn't even shave then. I didn't eat vegetables. I was just still a teenager, really, when I started out.
I love a letter from Tony Stewart, the Sounds editor, which says something like, for who it may concern, James Brown is a bona fide journalist. It's almost like they wouldn't believe it if they saw you.
Well, no, but when I got first interviewed to be on Sounds, I was still at school. I was 16, 17. I can remember running out to play football for the first 11. And the PE teacher came up to me, Mr. McCready, and he said, "Brown, hey, you've got a job interview." Who the hell is going to employ you? And to be fair, the music magazines, and then, Loaded I kind of created with Tim and the other guys, but the music papers were probably the only place I could possibly have worked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
It was 83, 84.
The FT wouldn't have been a good
fit.
The
FT at that point, not really were going to hire me, but... the older listeners remember 83, 84, particularly in the north, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Sheffield and so on. Yeah. There were no jobs.
No, sure.
So there was a genuine underground, a black market underground of people doing club promotions, fanzines, doing their own record labels. And most of us from that era ended up high up.
Yeah.
So Alan McGee, who had Creation later on, he had his own little label. And then the Farm, the band The Farm, Peter Hooton and his guys, they had a fanzine in Liverpool called The End, and there were loads of people that I met later who would become successful in bands, and they'd say, "You pestered me into buying a fanzine at the Lead Mill in Sheffield," watching the Three Johns or something in 1984.
There's some football in this. Alan Clark, Goals Are My Business. Alan was a neighbour of yours, wasn't he? He lived over the road from you.
Yeah, he was. I mean, that was... I was actually born in London, and my family from just outside Leeds, and we went back when I was about 3. We moved into a village called Collymore. My dad had made a bit of cash working down here in Park Royal, and Alan Clark lived next door.
Yeah,
I mean, not next door, but opposite. And my mum and his wife, Margaret, were friends. So I genuinely was in and out of their house. I can remember putting his England caps on,
Yeah.
I don't know if do they still get them?
Oh, yeah, they do, yeah.
So they're sort of, he had a corner cabinet.
I imagine Alan's family would have got a legacy cap, because all of them guys that have played for England, their families have been given there.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, we've lost Terry Orrough this week, but there's still 6 of the great Revy team left alive. And but yeah, I can remember him coming back from the 70 World Cup and unpacking his bag and telling my dad how dirty the Czechoslovakians were. My dad's not a football fan, but he used to be reminding me of that when I was doing that book.
There's some pictures of you doing some keep me uppies in the garden. There's you having clearly won some sort of table tennis.
That's the one I'm fascinated with.
Table tennis.
Marty Supreme we've got.
Yeah, we could have Marty
Supreme. Quite good at table tennis.
Yeah, you won.
Wow. What a loss to the world of table tennis you were, James. Now, you were at St James's Park the other night. But I suppose it's been such a rollercoaster. When you were telling me, you said you think you had a hand in Daniel Farker going 3-5-2.
All it was I was on here. I was on the radio on talkSPORT talking with Max and Barry on Sunday as the sort of slightly more informed Leeds fan than whoever reviews the matches. And it was I was just saying that we've got a lot of really good centre backs.
Yeah,
and we've got a lot of good midfielders. And we were playing Calvert-Lewin just on his own up front. and it would have been better to play 3 at the back or 5 at the back, as we're doing, and get 2 strikers. I was suggesting getting Gnonto right next to him, but he went with Namacha, now he does Okafor.
Yeah.
And I said to Andy beforehand, we were talking about when we smashed Chelsea 3 weeks ago. And,
that went down well, as always.
And but it was...
I wouldn't say
Leeds we were better than...
Smashed is a bit of an over-exaggeration.
It was 3-1.
Yeah, but you know.
Your striker costs more than our city's worth. Anyway, we
don't really want to go into all that, do we? Come on.
I'm comfortable going into it.
Yeah.
We won. But anyway, look,
trophies on the table.
The point is, right, you're only as good as your last game, Andy. The Leeds were better at the start of this season than the position was showing, but he moved halfway through that Man City game, which we eventually lost 3-2, to the formation I'd called for the Sunday before, and this Wednesday night, Farke's like a steady hand, but he's a little bit inflexible. And we were winning 3-2 at Newcastle. It was a brilliant game to be at. And he's put 2 strikers on.
Yeah.
It's like we've got a new centre-back from Germany called Bornau, who looks pretty good. He covered for Rodon the last 2 weeks, and he's looked like
So you're feeling confident then?
Yeah, probably going to bed.
I think we'll finish. I think we'll finish 15th.
You'll take 15th. We're out of time, James.
We'll be battling.
Zenage Kicks. Where can people find it?
If you get on my social, James Brown on Twitter and Instagram, and also there's a brilliant magazine shop which is full of football titles called Mag Culture. If you go to their website, Mag Culture, you can get Zenage Kicks there, and a load of other brilliant football magazines.
Brilliant. All right, lovely to see you.
And you too.
And all the best with it. And we wish you over the magazine. Zenage Kicks, Visual Evidence of a Life in Music and Magazines by James Brown. It is a beautiful thing. It's really different. Obviously interesting story of James's career, but brilliantly produced as well. So go and check it out. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Kaziah Sterling joining us. He's in the final of the Ballers League. He was MVP last year and won it. He's got quite the backstory. He'll tell us more about that shortly. Stan Collymore joining us a little bit later on to preview the FA Cup weekend. Then we'll have a Falls panel. The games are Wrexham, Nottingham Forest, Macclesfield versus Palace, Spurs Villa, all live on talkSPORT over the weekend. Call us now. We'll call you back at 2:45. You've just got to predict the scores of those games. Take us on, Jim, Stan, 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. Give us a call now. Hopefully we'll be chatting to you later. But let's get the sports headlines with Tom Clayton.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan van range, scoring a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan vans or head to your local Nissan van centre.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. Some of this weekend's football could be affected by the weather. A number of games have already been called off as snow and ice affects much of the country thanks to Storm Goretti. Keep an eye on talksport.com to see if your team's been affected. Now, David Moyes isn't wholly impressed by the FA's appeals panel. This after Michael Keane's red from midweek wasn't overturned.
Hugely disappointed, hugely surprised, probably more angry with the panel who chose that they thought that was the case, because there's a panel which sits and does it and looks at it, and I have to question the three of them, and I know who the three of them are on the panel.
The defender will miss games against Sunderland, Villa and Leeds. Antoine Semenyo has arrived at Manchester City after his £62.5 million move from Bournemouth. Pep Guardiola reckons it was a no-brainer.
So I play extraordinary in Bournemouth in the last years. Can play in both sides, right, left. He used the both legs unbelievably. And the striker as well can play for his pace, and he knows the Premier League.
Semenyo will be in the squad when City face Exeter tomorrow at 3. Meanwhile, good news for Newcastle fans. Fabian Schär's ankle injury isn't bad as first feared. Here's Eddie Howe.
No break. We think it's just ligament damage. Be seeing a specialist in the next few days to get sort of definitive answers, but maybe more positive than the initial assessment.
Newcastle face Bournemouth tomorrow afternoon live on talkSPORT. We have 11 games across the network this weekend for you, starting with Wrexham v Forest this evening from 7.
talkSPORT News.
Storm Goretti has brought the worst snowfall in a decade as more than 51,000 homes are still without power, and the UK is going to invest £20 million in laser weapons to protect military sites from drone attacks. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Whatever the winter weather, Bridgestone Turanza All Season 6 tyres. Guaranteed for 25,000 miles. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Storm Goretti will slowly edge away, but rain and some snow continuing across the east of England. Elsewhere, a mixture of clear and sunny spells with a scattering of wintry showers in places.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Actually, Kaziah Sterling joining us a little bit later on. He's going to be with us at 3 o'clock now. He's former Spurs player. He's got quite an interesting story about his Champions League performance for Spurs back in the day. But he's gone on and been a bit of a star in the Baller League. And they've got a big weekend coming up. So
some of the skills in there are amazing. I mean,
very popular, isn't it? It's got a huge following, especially among the kids, Andy, like yourself.
Very much so, yeah. Us YouTubers.
Yeah.
And, talking of trendy, you see Toby Carvery have released a range of clothing. It's a bit like Lidl.
Really?
Yeah, like Lidl and DHL. It's really odd how this takes off.
Oh, Toby Carvery.
I don't really want to wear Toby Carvery clothing, to be honest. But there you go. Obviously somebody does. Not me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if the people from if Toby's listening, I take it he's the bloke who runs it.
Yeah, right.
If Toby's listening, maybe he might send you in, and then you can get you to model it, Andy. See if it's your cup of tea.
I do like a Carvery. They've sort of disappeared, haven't they?
Whatever happened to the Carvery?
You don't see a lot of Carvery.
There's still plenty of Carverys out there. Do they work with sort of portion control these days? People used to go then have a proper feed.
Oh,
didn't
really?
They?
It used to be,
drink, eat to the point of unconsciousness.
It was all you could eat, wasn't it? That was the whole point, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you see that?
I'll take you to the Burnley one. We'll have a nice night at the Burnley if we can find. I'll give you a
yeah.
nice glass of orange or tomato juice, wine glass on a saucer.
Marvellous.
Take you back the old days.
Yeah.
Black Forest Gatto and a nice cremated steak.
Grapefruit.
Yeah, that's it.
Brooklyn Beckham has got legal with his parents. You see this? I already feel from just what every parent wants, a cease and desist letter from your son. I mean, honestly, it's not right, is it? Really? I mean, they ought to sort all this out.
Yeah, but Alan weighed in on that today in his Hollywood Reporter style.
Well, I think he's right. It's not right, and it's very strange.
It's a shame it's got to that stage, isn't it, really?
And Neymar, a man I've never really respected. You see him, Neymar sits on top of the Batmobile tumbler he bought for 1.3 million. A huge fan of the Cape Crusade. I mean, this bloke showed off the car bought from a museum in Sao Paulo, plus his helicopter and private jet. I mean, for a bloke he hasn't achieved much, has he?
Neymar hasn't achieved much.
He's sort of flattered to deceive. Do you think? Is he a footballer? You think to yourself, he's one of the greats of all time? I don't. I don't. I never quite got. I think I saw him play well once in one game.
Yeah,
that one where he turned it round for. Was it
Neymar? Is he all
PSG?
that?
Yeah, I think definitely.
No, look, I don't think.
I've never rated him.
But it didn't stop him earning an awful lot of money and getting some fantastic contracts. You wouldn't mind being a couple of quid behind him, would you?
No, not really. Definitely
standing in your Toby Carvery outfit.
Oh, they're tremendous.
Casting aspersions on Neymar.
Dougie Two Shoes wrote to the Star.
Who's Dougie Two Shoes?
Some bloke who wrote to the Star. He's tremendous. He says, if Martin Compston's performance in Red Eye got any more wooden, then I could use him as a fence post on my fence.
That's a bit harsh.
I know. Truly predictable. Phoned in performance. You think to yourself, you're not exactly Sheridan Morley yourself, are you, mate? Brilliant, these people.
That's one for the teenagers.
I know, it's a well-known critic.
He certainly was. Anything else you want to share with the class?
What else have I got here?
You're not in a great mood, are you?
No.
I don't think James has helped. We've had a Fulham fan come in John, and I said, don't mention Fulham because I'm going to have to pick up the pieces. But I knew James wouldn't take any notice of me, so he weighed in.
Sure, I mean, I remember you last season. You get to the point when your team, I'm sure the listeners know this, it's all right if, James Brown saying, it's a great league, it's a great season, it's a great... Yeah, if your team's doing well, my Brentford friends say, Igor, Thiago's tremendous, isn't he? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I couldn't care less, mate. I'm not interested. I've gone right off football. He said to me, what a classic rant. I really let him have it.
You've gone right off football.
I have. And cricket.
You're the world champions. I mean, there's still plenty of time. You've got good players.
It's ruined our whole season, hasn't it? It's absolutely, one win in 9. It's just, it's depressing. You just sit.
You've had it too good.
I know, but you sit down, do that thing. I mean, so many games this year, you sit down and after about 20 minutes, you've had a player sent off, you think, well, that's the end of this one. What's the point, really? It's great, isn't it?
Oh, well.
Never mind.
It's all relative.
Yes.
I've got a bit of news. This will cheer you up. Bukayo Saka has signed a new improved contract at Arsenal.
I'm sure Noni Madueke is delighted.
Yes. Well, let's be honest. That doesn't. He was never going to go anywhere. I didn't see him. I didn't see him going to Spurs at any time soon. Did you, Saka?
Went up for the first 20 minutes. He was electric last night, and then
Kirk, did all
got to grips with him, didn't he?
Yeah. He has signed a new improved 5-year contract at Arsenal. And, so I think that will be until summer 2031.
I'm not into the new traitors at all. I like this. We're talking to Ali Ross about this. I like the celebrity one. And there's a front page story on the Star today. It says, traitor Fiona Hughes threw Richard Duffy under the bus in one of the most explosive nights. Fellow traitor Stephen Libby said, who are these people? I don't know. Who cares?
People are buying into their lives, Andy. This is what's happening. It's a soap opera. Really? Do you know what? As I said, I've watched it for the first time and I've stuck with it. And I can see why I can see why the celebrity version is probably more popular. But I kind of get it now. I can see why people think it's a clever show. I mean, all the sort of gothic-y stuff I could do without, and Claudia wandering around in various tartan skirts, looking a bit.
Ali Ross said, I couldn't care less what Claudia Wiggum wears.
It's just wandering around, and it's a game. I mean, a few of this, I think the worst thing that contestants ever say is it's a game, because they must hate that, because they want to make it feel like they had them in cages last night, apparently sitting there for 4 or 5 hours till they were kicked out, and you think, were they really? I mean, did you have to? Anyway, I get it on a human level. It is quite.
Imagine another couple of defeats for Chelsea. I'll be watching all of them.
Yeah, you'll be right across all the reality telly. You'll be trying out for Love Island. When they talking about doing a sort of wrinkly Love Island at one point.
That'd be good, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure my wife would be overly pleased.
No, fair enough. Well,
I'll have a word with her, see if she would let me
see if she'd let you. I'm sure she would let you go in. What now? While England have been down under in Australia, losing the Ashes, you're all right. There's no need for that, whoever wrote this. Probably an Aussie.
Yeah.
And picking fights with nightclub bouncers.
Tremendous.
Back home in Barbados, Formula E driver Zayn Mulaney has been keeping a keen eye on how his old mate from school, Jacob Bethel, has been getting on after they both took very different career paths as teenagers. Listen to this.
I was playing cricket with Jacob, but obviously he was much better than me. I went to racing, he stayed with cricket, and he's doing an amazing job. So obviously to see him now like emerge as a star in the England team, I think what he did going over to England and kind of learning as much as he can was great. And now he's performing. He's the one performing the best on the team. So obviously very proud of him. I didn't get to see him because he was in Australia in the Ashes during Christmas, but I'll see him sometime soon, and hopefully he can come over to a race and I can go and watch a cricket game soon.
There we are, the old mates.
He played so well, didn't he? It really put, apart from Root, it really put everybody else in the shape.
That was the great thing that came out of that final
test innings. He just played properly, honestly.
Well, now the Ashes are over. I'm sure Jacob will be checking out how Zayn is getting on this weekend in Mexico City. You'll hear that race live on talkSPORT 2 from 7:30 p.m. on Saturday evening, and hear more from Zayn on the talkSPORT Driving YouTube channel. Just going back to that Martinelli moment last night, there was a caller to Jason Cundy and Dean Saunders on the sports bar last night, Arsenal fan. And he came on and he said, well, this wasn't really my reading of what went on. I think what Gabriel was doing was helping him over the line so he could get treatment quicker.
Yeah.
Imagine Jason.
Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't,
can't you? It was an absolute... And the bloke wasn't joking. He was deadly serious.
We all the same. We look at it through tinted perspective.
Of course we do. Yeah, we see it from our own clubs. But anyway, Arsenal fans will be happy. That's the breaking news. Bukayo Saka not going anywhere. Not for a minute, I think. Did you expect he would be or suspect he would be? But, signed a new improved deal that keeps him at the club till 2031, where hopefully, from my point of view, they'll be in National League South. It seems unlikely, but anyway, I'll just run that past the producer. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to have a chat with Liv Cook. If you're into the world of freestyling, you'll know her as the former world champion, but her career since has gone in a very different direction, and she's now going to be one of the angel investors on Property Elevator, a kind of Dragon's Den property show on Amazon Prime. And it's funny because it's in the news, freestyling at the moment.
Yeah, and a young girl's won the world championship, hasn't she?
That's right, yeah. Isabel, wasn't it? I'm going to try and think what her second name was. Anyway, I'll find it. I'll get all the details. And we'll
Isabel Wilkins.
That's right, yeah. She's now the world freestyle champion. So we do very well in it, obviously, over here. But anyway, Liv joins us for a chat next. And Stan Collymore and the Falls panel. Just a reminder, Wrexham Forest, Macclesfield Palace, Tottenham Villa. They're the games we'd like you to predict the scores of. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. Call us now. We'll call you back. You can take us on. Jim Proudfoot, our commentator, and Stan. And yeah, we look forward to chatting to you in half an hour. We're here with Tool Station. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Tool Station. Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent with you at Forward Drive. Then we've got Kickoff with Hugh Wozencroft and the team. Jim Proudfoot joining us later on. Tash Dowry alongside him for Wrexham Forest. And then the Sports Bar Weekender. Adam Cattrall and Carlton Cole at 10, taking your calls on all the big stories of the day. And, of course, that big FA Cup match. But before all of that, Liv Cook is a former world freestyling champion. Since then, since she's retired from that exercise, she is now a property developer of some repute, and it is quite the story. She's going to be on Property Elevator on Amazon Prime, and she joins us now. Hi, Liv.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. I was reading a little bit about you, knowing you were coming on today. It is quite the story, isn't it? You won the World Freestyle Championship and were a bit kind of bereft afterwards. You'd achieved everything you wanted to achieve, and you thought, well, you were about 18. What do I do with the rest of my life? And you had a little period when you were sort of kind of finding your way, weren't you?
Yeah, I think that happens to a lot of athletes, you know. Everybody thinks about the training, the discipline, the years of work to achieve your dream, but nobody really thinks about what happens afterwards. And I think that's something that I experienced pretty heavy. And I was quite young, 18, to be crowned the best in the world at what you do.
So, I mean,
it's hard to then top that, I think.
Of course. So, but why property? What other things did you try before you fell upon this? And it's because you've apparently sort of turned over property up to £75 million. You've become very wealthy yourself.
Is this developing and turning properties rather than buying them and renting them?
Yeah, so I like to go for properties that nobody can buy and nobody wants because they're completely run down. So even if somebody wanted to buy it and they wanted to move in, their mortgage lender wouldn't approve it. And that's because it's completely uninhabitable. So there might be a roof falling in, there might be no heating. I go for like the worst of the worst. Like my dream is a property that hasn't sold at auction. And then I go in, fix all the problems, make it into a home. And primarily, I actually like to renovate it and house women that are fleeing domestic and sexual abuse. But we do have quite a range of tenants.
Yeah. So some good has come out of it. It's not, you're not just moving a profit, making a profit, moving on. There's some substance to it, and you're looking to help people out along the way.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people get confused. They think that you have to, like, if you're making profit, you can't have purpose. And I actually think it's a beautiful industry where you can be commercially smart and socially conscious at the same time. Like, of course, I make a profit. I'm a developer. Sure. If I wasn't making profit, it wouldn't be sustainable. But at the same time, I'm also taking housing that is serving no purpose in the market. Nobody can live there. Nobody's going to buy it. I'm fixing it up. I'm bringing it back to the market. And I'm giving these women a second chance. You know, when you see them move in, like, I've been fortunate enough to experience recently quite a few women actually moving in and seeing, like, I can't explain the feeling when you see them see their new home, their room for the first time, the gratitude that they feel, it just brings them to tears. And to see that in front of you, to see somebody experience like safety for the first time in a long time, maybe even the first time ever in their life, it's a pretty powerful feeling. And it actually reminds me back of like my freestyle days. Sounds a bit bizarre to link the two, but winning a world championship, that feeling you get inside of like accomplishment is very similar in some ways to housing these women.
And people will probably think you need a fair bit of capital to start in an industry like that. I mean, you'd probably generated some through, your social media platforms and your profile as a freestyler, or did you need help beyond that? Did you get help beyond that?
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions in property. People think that you need to be rich to get into it. And it sounds a little bit cliche, but I'm constantly trying to drill it in on my social media that you don't have to be rich to get into property. You can get into property and get rich. And I've proven this countless times. Like, I've taken a firefighter, I've taken a waiter, I've taken an accountant, people that are taking home $2 or $3 grand a month after tax, and taught them the tricks of the trade, how to go out, find amazing property deals. And although they've no money in the bank to actually do the deal, what they can then do is take that deal, take the information, take it to a busy investor and say, hey, here's an amazing deal. I'll be honest, I can't afford it, but I know you're too busy to find your own deal, or you don't have the knowledge to find your own deal. So pay me a finder's fee and take this deal. And if you do that enough times, 4 times, and you've got the budget to then take the next deal yourself. So you don't have to be rich to get into property. You can get rich in property. But one thing I do try and also drill into them is when you're doing that, don't get too greedy. Money's great, but making an impact feels so much better.
It's such a sort of gear change from freestyling, isn't it? It's such a different world.
How does the program work, Property Elevator? Then tell us a little bit about that.
I'm so excited. We're coming to Amazon Prime. It's going to be airing at the end of the year. We're actually filming in February. So the best way I describe it is it's a Dragon's Den style property show. So I'm honestly honoured to be asked for this and to be featuring as one of the angels, we're called. We're the investors on the panel, and people come in and they pitch us deals live, just like on Dragon's Den. And if we like the deal, we can back it, we can joint venture. And it's a chance for people to get into property, get some funding, and get in front of a panel of investors. Like, I'm honoured to sit on this panel. The investors on here are incredible. They've got 20, 30, sometimes 50 years experience. They've built hundreds of millions of pounds of property. So if you've got a deal and you think it stacks at home, but maybe you haven't got the money, this is an opportunity of a lifetime to come on and get funding and change your life.
Propertyelevator.tv. You can go there, and the application process, all the details are there. And as Liv said, they're going to be recording that in February, and maybe it could be you on the show. It could be a life-changing moment for you.
Do you still play football or keep up? Do you have anything to do with football now?
Yeah, I heard you talking about Isabel, actually. Isabel Wilkinson. She is incredible. I'm not competing anymore. I stopped that a long time ago, back in, I think, 2017. Actually, I retired from competitions after winning the world champs. I carried on to get 7 world records, which I still hold today. But in terms of actually competing, no, I passed that torch down a long time ago. And who better to continue representing the country than Isabel?
It's amazing that we're obviously very good at it, Liv, and we've had quite a few world champions.
We've seen some amazing footage of you, though, in your prime. Look at that.
Yeah, they're doing keepy uppy on a parachute. while you're
Paragliding.
Paragliding. That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the clip of that I actually posted was only a few seconds long, but I must have done it for 10 minutes, and it was in Malibu. So we were flying over like £30 million houses. I thought, oh my gosh, if I drop the ball now, I'm not sure about paying for that renovation.
Now you're buying the houses. Then.
Yeah. And who's your team? Do you support a team?
Man United, of course.
Okay. How are you feeling about life at the moment with everything that's going on?
Well, back when I was playing football, we were a little bit of a stronger team, but I've got to back us through the good and the bad, even from the Sir Alex Ferguson days. It's not the same, but I'm hopeful we'll get back there.
Well, it's a great story, Liv. Keep doing what you're doing and enjoy being on Property Elevator. Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you. I'm excited. PropertyElevator.tv if you feel you could be part of that show that is filming on February, and it'll be on Amazon Prime. Stan Collymore joins us next, and he's got an interesting take on the old head coach manager conundrum we've been hearing an awful lot about in the last week since Amorim went. And we'll start looking ahead to the FA Cup, as we said, Force panel coming up after Stan. And later on, we'll have some clips of the week for you too.
Gabriel Martinelli's been called an idiot, a disgrace, classless and disgusting by various pundits. He's deeply sorry for throwing the ball at an injured Conor Bradley before hauling him off the pitch. Ray Parlour says Martinelli didn't realise how bad Bradley's knee was.
He will be devastated this morning, and I'm really pleased he's apologised straight away to him, which you do. You know, that's the first thing you do. The heat of the moment, people make mistakes, and Martinelli certainly made a big mistake there.
Bradley was seen leaving the Emirates on crutches. Arsenal's 0-0 draw means they missed the chance to go 8 points clear. Liverpool look more solid at the back, but still lack cutting edge up top.
We struggle much more than Arsenal against low blocks. And there are 20 goals difference between them and us in set pieces. But tonight we've shown again that we are still a team that everyone needs to reckon with.
Meanwhile, Man City have confirmed the signing of Antoine Semenyo for £64 million on a 5-year deal. Christian Romero will stay on as Spurs captain despite his apparent criticism of the board on Instagram. Thomas Frank says Romero is being dealt with. Nick Kyrgios won't play in this month's Australian Open. He's not ready for 5-set matches. 40-year-old Stan Wawrinka's got a wild card ahead of his retirement at the end of the season. And Ben Stokes is ready to have tough conversations with England's Test players after their disastrous Ashes tour. He also admits his own performances weren't up to standard. Meanwhile, Aussie batter Steve Smith refused to confirm if he'll be available for next summer's Ashes in England. For more, head to talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube channel.
We got the Falls panel coming up shortly. 3 big games in the FA Cup, all of which you'll hear on talkSPORT this weekend, starting with Wrexham Forest tonight. Let's chat now to former Forest striker Stan Collymore joins us. Hi, Stan.
Paul, Andy, the last time Wrexham faced Nottingham Forest in North Wales, it was a 3-3 draw in the League Cup in 1993, and I know that because I scored a hat-trick.
Oh,
well, there you go.
Was it a perfect? Was it right foot, left foot?
It was. Actually, no. It was 2 header and 2 right foot. But the one that scored my hat trick, played through, beat the last defender. The goalkeeper came out, and instead of using my left foot to curl it round him, which would have been the easy option, I went with the outside of my right foot, so I could have scored a perfect hat-trick on that day. But that got me off and running. I remember that game particularly well because I had a very tough start at Forest. I hadn't scored in my first 5 or 6 games. Team were in the Championship. The club had lost Brian Clough, Roy Keane, etc., etc. Frank Clark had come in. It was like, who's this guy? And we had a really, really tough start to the season. So for me, after 5 or 6 games, to go somewhere to score a hat-trick, Forest fans got behind me. I was off and running then. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a equally as good game at the week tonight.
Did you have to look them up, or do you remember all your goals, Stan?
I remember every goal, Paul, Andy. I remember scoring against Chelsea, a couple against Chelsea at the Bridge. The goalkeeper parried it out. Brian Roy at the shed end. Brian Roy crossed it, parried out, I think, by Dimitri Karin, and I did a scissor kick. And then the second one was at the opposite end, where Andy obviously sits, and that was a bit of a shank. I remember scoring, goalkeeper parried out a corner, Aston Villa at White Hart Lane, and it dropped to me, and I hammered that one in. And then I, at Villa Park, absolutely tore Sol Campbell to shreds, held it up, volleyed it into the back of the net. So I remember most of them very sadly.
Yeah, he wasn't all that, Sol Campbell. I think he went off the boil after he left Spurs.
I remember when you scored against Newcastle. I don't know if you remember that one. I'm not sure if you did.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad one either.
I remember that one.
Actually, I remember the year after, it was exactly the same result. Robbie Fowler scoring the winning goal in a 4-3, and I was on the bench, and I was gutted because I was like, 12 months ago, that was me.
Anyway, I know you wanted to talk. It's been a big talking point this week after Amorim and the big fallout around head coaches and managers and coaches. So what's your take on all of this?
Well, in the development of football, and especially talking out on the station over many years, I could quite understand why football clubs wanted to go and have a hierarchical approach to their clubs, pretty much similar to American NFL clubs, huge multi-billion-dollar corporations. So you need to have more employees doing more stuff because there's more to do. And as the Premier League has grown, just to have a manager that deals with all of the recruitment, all of the tactics, all of everything is a nonsense. But I think we've gone a little bit too far the other way. I remember going to St George's Park a few years back and seeing a lot of the coaches that we now have at lots of Premier League, Championship clubs, Football League clubs around Europe, being taught by coach assessors, etc., etc. And the problem for me is that anybody can coach. Any of us listening to this can go and do some really good FA coaching badges, and by the book, we could go out and put a team together and play in a certain way. But only a few can lead. And I think that what we've lost over the last 15, 20 years and the explosion of European football and Premier League football is the fact that we're seeing guys now go out onto the training pitch that have got elite coaching credentials, but when put under the most minuscule pressure or scrutiny, they can't lead individuals. And I think that you look at, Maresca and Amorim's comments. I'm fascinated to Andy's thoughts about Maresca, particularly about, they've had so many managers and tried so many different things, and yours about Thomas Frank, Paul. But when you look at Maresca and Amorim isolated, you say to yourself, okay, they've got the coaching credentials and they've been at clubs and they've had some degree of success. But when you go to Manchester United, Chelsea, Spurs, the Arsenal, the top 5 or 6 clubs, you've got to be able to have people basically stand behind your, the Graham Souness flag in the middle of the pitch when he was manager of Galatasaray and say, follow me. And I think that under the lightest pressure, people say it's not light pressure at Man United or Chelsea, they're big clubs and it's weekly. But I just think that they both folded relatively quickly. And I think that they both came out with comments that probably knew that was going to get them ejected fairly quickly. But I just think to myself, in a busy Premier League schedule of 38 games, particularly this time of year when the games are coming thick and fast, you don't need to teach anybody about systems and tactics, because the likes of Cole Palmer are taught that from the age of 8. So they're elite level players are very savvy when it comes to where they need to be, where they need to play, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to achieve. But I think that less importance now is put on follow the man. You've got a little niggly injury. You've just come back from a suspension and you haven't scored for 5 or 6 games. Follow me, the manager. And I think there's no coincidence that the people now getting the most success. Pep Guardiola was an excellent coach, but he was also a captain of his Barcelona and Spain. A man that you would follow. Mikel Arteta was a captain as a player, and he's had to completely change his system. He wanted to walk the ball into the back of the net. Now it's set piece FC. So he had to realise that it wasn't just about systems and coaching. It was about follow me, discipline, organisation. So I just think that we need to get back to a situation that, particularly with elite level football clubs, whereby a manager that has the ability to be able to recruit or semi-recruit, dealing with a head of recruitment to help him, is at the head of these football clubs, because it seems to me that the elite level coach that doesn't have managerial skills is much less capable than a manager that has less coaching skills, if that makes sense.
I think the problem at Chelsea, you asked me, I think when you've got 2 owners, 2 sporting directors, 2 heads of recruitment and a medical department telling you what to do, I think that makes it quite difficult to do your job.
Yeah, and so certainly to be that kind of old-style, run-it top-to-bottom like manager that you're saying the big clubs need, Stan.
Yeah, I mean, look at Aston Villa. Again, I'll say it because it's my club, but I don't think anybody would dismiss Unai Emery's ability to win trophies and to make teams significantly better wherever he's been. When he went into Aston Villa, he took in 2 or 3 people that he knew and that he trusted. Monchi was one of them, and Monchi didn't work, so Monchi went. So again, management is not just looking at a situation and saying, I want all of my yes men in there, but if they're not working and recruitment's not good, I'm going to tell the big boss who's writing the checks, he's got to go and we bring somebody else in. I'll just look at John McGinn as a classic example. 31-year-old, you know, he's done the hard yards as a pro, been exceptional for Villa over a number of years. Most games, when he's interviewed now, he says the gaffer keeps on at me. He keeps talking to me about where he wants me to be and to go beyond myself, to really try and push myself that little bit harder. That's management. That's not coaching, because John McGinn, as a professional footballer, would know where his positioning is. Senior Scottish international. They work on lots of shape week in and week out at Bodymore Heath. And Unai Emery's a very good coach. He knows how his teams want to play. But it seems to me that extra bit that has taken Aston Villa probably beyond where most people expected them to be this season is Unai Emery keep on to people, putting his arm around somebody like Victor Lindelof. Lindelof was finished. And his performances for Villa have been confident. And my understanding is that Unai Emery's gone up to him, put his arm around him and said, look, forget what's happened at the circus up the road. You're here now. You're a Swedish international. I believe in you and you're going to play games. That's management.
Yeah.
And Aston Villa have lots of layers of admin. But I think that ultimately, if you empower the guy at the top to make, firstly, all of the coaching decisions, but have a big say in recruitment and, you know, can we get him back off the injury table a week earlier, which most players want to do anyway. Now most medical departments will say, we're going to keep him till he's absolutely 100% fit, which is very rare in football, is that if you get more of an Emery approach to the game, I think that gives you more bang for your buck than the latest great coach that's got some viral clips on YouTube, you know, telling everybody where they need to stand and where they need to be on set pieces, but hasn't got the ability to say to people, when it hits the fan, follow me. And I just think that's lacking at the very elite level of English football at the moment.
Interesting. Stan sticking around with us. We got the Falls panel to come. We're looking at Wrexham, Forest, Macclesfield, Palace, Tottenham, Villa. And we'll be joined by one of our listeners, Panel Beater will join us. Jim Proudfoot, your commentator for Wrexham Forest tonight. That's coming up shortly as we look to predict those 3 games. We're here with Toolstation. Get winter ready with heating and insulation essentials. Next stop, Toolstation. It's time then for the Falls panel, that point of the show where we look at 3 big games this weekend, this time in the FA Cup third round, and try and predict the scores. We'll get 3 points for getting it spot on, 1 point for getting the outcome right, and nothing for getting it wrong, of course. A league table is built based on that over the season, and the standings are bottom of the table, although he got 3 points just before Christmas. Andy Jacobs finds himself on 27. Then it's the talkSPORT listeners, the panel beaters. Martin, the Spurs fan, joined us. He got 2. They're on 31. Commentators, mid-table, 2 points for them. It was Jim Proudfoot. It'll be Jim very shortly. They're on 34. I got 3 points. I'm on 38. Breathing down the neck of our league leader as we enter the new year, Stan Collymore, who also got 3 and is 3 points clear on 41. We're going to look at Wrexham Forest, Macclesfield Palace, Tottenham v Villa. Jim Proudfoot's on his way to Wrexham for tonight's game. Hi, Jim.
Hello, how you doing, Paul?
Good, thanks. We're having a chat with Mickey Thomas. He's very much looking forward to it. A man with a bit of previous in the FA Cup third round for Wrexham. But
proper cup tie.
Should be a great game, this. Looking forward to it. I'm sure you are.
Oh, I can't wait. There's something about the FA Cup. I absolutely love it. And as the supporter of Torquay, it's normally over by October, so I have a couple of months off it. And then when it comes around to January, it's good to be back involved again for the third round. But it'd be good tonight. Wrexham have got a fantastic record against teams from the Premier League and the old First Division over the last 45, 50 years. It's wonderful. It's not just Mickey that's written his name in Wrexham folklore. So, yeah, it'll be a good night tonight.
I'm looking in the background. If people are watching on YouTube or Connect TV, they'll see that it's looking pretty snowy there. Well, I mean, is there likelihood of any call-offs tonight, or are we hoping for the best or tonight and tomorrow?
Well, I'm somewhere in rural Shropshire, and because there's snow over the road signs, I haven't got a clue where I am. I can't tell you. Near Shrewsbury, probably, if I'm still going the right way. Yeah, there's a lot of snow about. Roads are okay. Led to believe that there's no problem with the pitch, and hopefully the precincts around the stadium will be fine. Yeah, should be good to go.
Good stuff. That's great. Let's say hello to Emilio, the Spurs fan, who's our panel beater. Hi, Emilio.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Not so bad, yeah. I'd say this is effectively Tottenham's season on Saturday, so it's a shame it's Villa. But
yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, a bit unfortunate there. But yeah, happy to be on the show. Not quite the 26k call I was hoping for earlier, but
yeah, when you probably saw talkSPORT flash up, you thought, oh, fantastic. I'm sorry, we're a very poor second to 26 grand. So
this is the 26p you get for being on this show.
26p from Andy. Anyway, let's crack on. We're going to kick off with the one that Jim will be at tonight with Tash Dowie and Hugh Wozencroft. Wrexham versus Forest. Stan Collymore's old club. He leads us off as he's top of the tree. What about this one, Stan? You say you scored a hat-trick last time these two came together in the Cup.
I did, and Jim Proudfoot makes the excellent point about Wrexham and sort of giant killing against sort of bigger and more illustrious clubs. They're in really good form. Won the last 5, scored 11 goals, so free scoring the Wrexham that we expected perhaps earlier on in the season. I do think that Forest win at West Ham was important, though, and the last 2 or 3 performances from Morgan Gibbs-White has been good. And I think if you're looking at players to go beyond, if he plays, of course, Sean Dyche may decide to make 1 or 2 changes and rest 1 or 2 players, but I doubt it. I think that the FA Cup is something that Nottingham Forest should go for, is that I think that Forest will have a Gibbs-White, hopefully an Igor Jesus that hasn't been scoring goals, but he's certainly got the capability to, that might just be the difference. So I'm going Wrexham 1, Forest 2.
I was very tempted on the same score. I mean, Mickey Thomas was making the point, Forest will want to keep the momentum, and I'm sure Wrexham would have loved West Ham to have got something from that game the other day. But he will make changes, but not that many, and I think they'll have enough. I think Wrexham will go chasing it towards the end. I'm going to go 3-1 to Forest on the break. Jim, what about you? You've done your research on this one.
I am going to go for a 1-1 draw in 90 minutes. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that Wrexham will knock them out tonight.
Ooh.
I didn't think Forest were great the other day. I mean, they were good enough to beat West Ham, but I didn't think that they were great. Certainly wasn't a game they deserved to lose. And I think that run of consecutive defeats they'd had, they were probably playing slightly better than some of those results suggested. They were certainly very good at home to Manchester City. But I think that changes will be made. I think Wrexham will make a few as well. But I've just got a sneaking suspicion that we're going to extra time tonight. So I'm going to go 1-1 after 90.
Yeah, Jim's right about that game, and they were fortunate. Because if that offside goal had stood, it was a fraction, wasn't it? So,
yeah, against Villa, they created chances.
They'd have been 2-0 down, and it would have been a different story. But there you go.
What do you think, Emilio?
I'm going to go with a win for Hollywood FC, so 2-1 Wrexham.
2-1 Wrexham. Well, what a way to kick off the FA Cup weekend that will be. And Andy?
I agree with Jim. I think it'll go to penalties. It's 1-1.
I think it is extra time, Jim, isn't it, at this stage?
I'm more confused.
Yeah, half an hour of extra time, and then the penalties if necessary.
Is that new? I thought they got rid of extra time in FA Cup, but they've got rid of replays, haven't they?
Yeah, you have got rid of replays.
Yeah, got rid of the replays, but listen, if I don't have to do extra time, if it goes straight to penalties, everyone's a winner.
One each. You agreeing with Jim?
Yes.
Okay, talkSPORT listeners home in the car. Next up, tomorrow lunchtime, Macclesfield versus Crystal Palace is our next game. Blimey, all of these are Stan's old teams. What about this one, Stan?
Yeah, I don't see anything other than the holders going through comfortably. Macclesfield 0, Crystal Palace 3.
Cool. A very confident one for Palace there.
I'm having to look up where Macclesfield. I'm doing a Mellor here. I see that where
the Silkman. Where are they in the league? How are they getting on? You're going to look that up, are you, Andy? Go on, you can blag this. I think Palace will win. I think he will make some changes. I'm not quite as full on as Stan. I'm going to go 2-0 Palace. Jim, what about this one?
Mac's form has been up and down. I mean, they are in the bottom half of the National League North, albeit that they've got some games in hand on teams above them, and obviously there's the horrendous tragedy that the club suffered before Christmas has had a part to play. I'm not sure whether John Rooney's really got the scope to make too many changes, and he's got his leading scorer, Danny Collins, is going to be back. But I think that even if Palace play the kind of team that they put out for the last of the Conference League ties, which feels as though it's the sort of 11 that might be picked by Oliver Glasner, they'll probably be too strong. So I'm going to go for... I'll give Mac a goal, 3-1 to Palace.
3-1 to Palace, says Jim. What about you, Emilio?
I'll go... I'm going to go big on 4-0 Palace.
4-0 Palace, all very, very comfortable. And Andy?
2-0 to Palace.
So you're going 2-0, okay, based on all the changes. talkSPORT listeners home in the car. And finally, Saturday evening, Spurs versus Aston Villa. I was so delighted when that came out there. When they did the draw in the third round.
Tremendous, isn't it?
Stan, please tell me that Villa are going to make a load of changes.
I'm as unhappy as you are with the draw. When it came out, I was like, bloody hell, Spurs. We're going to take 9,000 down, so I think that'll be a spectacle in itself to see so many Villa fans in that beautiful stadium of yours. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it wasn't a comfortable Spurs win. I'll be honest, despite their recent form. I think that 2 out of the last 3 Villa performances, Chelsea and then at Crystal Palace, have been really tired. And there isn't a great deal of... I mean, he can make changes, but you're talking about a serious degradation of quality if Villa were to make 4 or 5. Having said that, it's the only trophy I haven't seen my football club win. So instead of going with my brain, I'm going to go with my heart and go Spurs 1, Villa 2. But I genuinely wouldn't be at all surprised to see Spurs' name in the hat after the weekend.
They got to the semi-final, didn't they, Villa, last year? Am I right in thinking that, or am I going mad?
Did they get to the semi-final last year, Stan? Were you in the semi-finals last year?
Oh, crikey. Jim, were we? You tell me.
No, it was Forest, wasn't it?
Forest were in the
Nice to support a club you could be so
semi-finals and finals with Villa.
No, you won't.
No, they weren't. Forest.
This is Tottenham season, as I was saying to Amelia earlier on. The way things stand, and with all the injuries and the lack of recruitment so far, they're not going to be in Europe, and they're too good to go down, hopefully just about. And I'm going to stick my neck out and say they're not going to win the Champions League. So this is huge for Spurs, and it'll be massive to try and get some momentum, and a good cup run could quieten all the noise at the club. It could play some part in that. They desperately need this. I think it might be a draw at full time. I'm going to go 2 each. I'm going to sit on the fence, and then whatever happens after that happens. But Jim, what about you?
I think if it was at Villa Park, although Villa are so good at home, I think that would ease the pressure on Spurs. I think the fact that it is a home draw just makes it difficult with the poor home form that there's been. I've got a sneaking suspicion that Villa will knock Spurs out, but I am going to go extra time. I'm going to go 1-1 after 90 minutes.
OK, 1-1. All I would say to the Spurs defenders and midfielders is if you see Morgan Rogers on the edge of the box, just close him down.
Yeah, no, just let him have a shot.
Just close him down. You'll see the difference it makes when you do that. What do you think, Emilio?
I'm probably dreading it just as much as you are, Paul, to be honest. Yeah, we've been a bit dreadful at home this season. I think I've been offered about 4 free tickets, but happily I'm actually busy tomorrow.
Right.
So I can't make it. But, yeah, I might go a draw as well because I can't quite stomach saying that we're going to lose. So I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1. And finally, Andy.
Yeah, I'm going on what Stan says. He knows his team better than most. So I think that Spurs, they're so desperate. I think they might just nick this. I don't think it'd be a great game. 1-0.
Well, I hope you're right. talkSPORT listeners home in the car. Thank you, Emilio. Yeah, sorry, Stan.
Andy, Paul, I'm just going to dive in there on Andy saying I know my club as well as anybody. Yeah. I was at Wembley to watch Aston Villa lose 3-0 against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup semi-final. I'm obviously getting old.
Yes.
Because I just, as I was listening to all of you, I had to go into my iPhone photos to look at memories from that event. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0, FA Cup semi-final.
Lovely.
This year,
lovely on air.
Last year, wasn't it?
Lovely on-air senior moment from Stan there. Brilliant. Cheers, Stan. All the best. Thank you.
The Villa.
Jim, safe journey. We look forward to hearing from you later. Thanks very much.
Yeah, nice to speak to you guys. All the best.
Jim will be a commentator for Wrexham Forest. And thank you, Emilio. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having us, lads. Have a good weekend.
There we are. That's the Falls panel. Still to come, a former Spurs player, Kaziah Sterling. They're ripping it up these days in the Baller League. He'll be chatting to us in a few moments' time. And we'll have some clips of the week.
talkSPORT Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the headlines at 5 minutes past 3, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. A number of matches are falling by the wayside as the weather takes its toll on the country. Storm Goretti is bringing snowfall and strong winds, meaning some clubs are postponing matches this weekend. Keep an eye on talkSPORT.com. See if your club has been affected. Now, it's reported Bukayo Saka has agreed to sign a new 5-year deal at Arsenal. Would extend his stay in North London until 2031. Antoine Semenyo will go straight into the City squad this weekend after his arrival from Bournemouth. Pep's thrilled to have the forward and thinks it was a no-brainer to have him at the Etihad.
We need to reinforce for the next years, and that's why the club make the gesture, the effort to take him, and like they have done the club, to try to bring players, young players, to make his career or his best years here.
Now, David Moyes says he's starting to feel hard done by with refereeing decisions going against his team.
Hugely disappointed, hugely surprised, probably more angry with the panel who chose that they thought that was the case, because there's a panel which sits and does it and looks at it, and I have to question the three of them, and I know who the three of them are on the panel.
Everton say they're surprised and disappointed Michael Keane's red against Wolves the other night wasn't overturned by the FA. He'll be missing for their upcoming fixtures against Sunderland, Villa and Leeds. Eddie Howe says Fabian Schär could return before the end of the season. He says he's not broken his ankle after being stretchered off against Leeds in midweek. And Luke Littler's signed a £20 million equipment deal with Target Darts. It's the largest in the sport's history and will last around 10 years. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Downing Street's described X's update on its AI tool as insulting, and Britain's developing £20 million lasers to protect against drone attacks. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, your go-to destination for quality tyres from great brands like Continental. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Storm Goretti will slowly edge away, but rain and some snow continuing across the east of England. Elsewhere, a mixture of clear and sunny spells with a scattering of wintry showers in places.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Todd Mlin joins us very shortly. It's wild card weekend in the NFL.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites. It's good.
Well, if you don't know what that is, all will be explained. There's some other interesting stories. Somebody who didn't really play much football, American football, in their early life, is now in the Hall of Fame. You'll find out why. And one of the greats of basketball got told off by his mum this week. And so we'll cover that and more with Todd. And we'll have some clips of the week for you. We'll hear from the managers, head of all the big games in the FA Cup this weekend, and lots more besides. Now, before we chat to our next guest, you were listening to, or you were watching Robson Green's TV
Country
show.
Estates.
Country Estates,
Yes.
Okay. And
Country Escapes.
sorry.
Escapes.
Well, I don't watch it, so I'm relying on you to get the name of it right.
Funny enough, I don't normally watch it, but I just caught out the sort of...
Who was the subject of it in his country? Who escaped? J.J.
What's his name? The TV presenter for Paralympic guy, J.J.
Okay, it's going well.
I can't remember.
I'd leave Andy to do the research on this one. So anyway, it doesn't matter. With respect to J.J. During the show, there was a little moment, wasn't there, that you heard?
J.J. Chalmers.
J.J. Of course, yeah, J.J. Chalmers. So anyway, let's hear the moment that Andy heard on that show.
For a little change of pace, JJ suggested we go to the Black Ruthven estate on the outskirts of Perth to meet an old pal of his, Martin Tyler. Martin runs dry stone walling workshops because he's passionate about passing on his skills to anyone who wants to have a go.
I never knew that.
Martin, we'd known Martin for years, and we thought it can't be.
Really surprised.
It can't be the same. So you alerted Martin to it, didn't you?
Yes, and I sent it to him.
Yeah, and he listened to it, and he came back to you with this, didn't he?
And it's dry.
I was really impressed.
Maybe it is him after all. Maybe it is him after all that. So there we
My
are.
friend once won Drystone Waller of the Year.
Yeah, I remember. Your friend won Drystone Wall of the Year, and at an event, the then Prince Charles, now King Charles, of course, breaking news here on talkSPORT, you had the day off of work to go along and just be in the same vicinity of the then Prince Charles.
I know.
And
he was so charming. I watched him.
You were roommate when you stood in a group of people, just nodding as he spoke. Yeah.
I never actually, I couldn't summon up the courage to speak to him.
Well, thank you for Martin doing that. Anyway, the Baller League Final Four this Sunday at the Copper Box, and our next guest was the MVP last season in the Baller League. He's a former Spurs player, and it is Kaziah Sterling who joins us now. Kaziah, good afternoon.
Oh, we can't hear you, Kaziah. We can see you.
Hello, we'll try again. Hi, Kaziah.
Hi, can you hear me?
We got you.
now, yeah,
we got you. Yeah, thanks very much for joining us. Yeah, we're just saying it's incredibly popular, isn't it? Especially the kids absolutely love it, and I'm sure wherever you go, you're probably getting a whole new lot of fans that you didn't know you had when you sort of meet younger football fans.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see how many people are following it. I've been stopped quite a bit doing day-to-day things in the street, and even more so when I was playing at Spurs. So I'm surprised about how big it's taken off.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a lot of highlights. They always show them on Sky News the next morning. And the skills, there's some really fine skill levels, aren't there? And obviously there's a lot of showbiz element and professional footballers running teams. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented players in there. A lot of players that have gone underneath the radar as well, that wouldn't necessarily have gotten the opportunity to showcase how good they are. So it's a really good platform for players like that to show how good they are.
Now, I remember you as a young lad. I'm a Tottenham fan. I remember you as a young lad at Spurs coming through. And funny enough, look, you came on in a Champions League game, didn't you? Poch gave you your debut at Wembley. And it was one of those situations where you're ready to come on, and then the ball didn't go out play for nearly 10 minutes. You just stood there getting cold. You got on in the end, but maybe not for as long as you would have liked to have.
Yeah, that was quite interesting one. Honestly, I'd never seen the ball stay in play so long at a Tottenham game. So while the ball was in play, a lot of nerves were building up. I remember Michel Vorm was telling some of the players to kick the ball out when he saw us standing on the sideline. But yeah, that was a special moment for me.
Yeah, I'm looking a bit into your background. You had a really kind of debilitating condition, illness that has made your career quite stop-start and did affect your chances of making it at Spurs. Tell us a little bit more about that and how you manage it.
Yeah, so I've suffered with rhabdomyolysis. I've had that quite a few times. When I do have it, I have to be put into hospital, which means I can't play after have a long rest period. So that's been hard to kind of navigate. But at the same time, it's kind of made me resilient and made me have a different mindset in terms of staying positive and just keeping focused and finding ways to keep going.
And is it something that can be managed by drugs, or is it just something that flares up and you have to react to it?
So yeah, it kind of flares up. You don't know when it's going to happen. When it does flare up, I'm monitored in a hospital with IV fluids and stuff like that.
Yeah, you went to Sunderland on loan. You're at Doncaster and Leighton Orient, Southend. Had a spell in the States as well. I mean, how did the Baller League thing come about?
So it came about through a friend, a close friend of mine recommended it. It happened maybe a month or so after I'd been in hospital. So I was trying to get back into the football again, back into training, and I thought, why not try it out? A bit of five-a-side, six-a-side should be fun, and then ended up really enjoying it. I didn't realize how big it was at the time, and since then it's just been growing, and I've been really enjoying it.
It's very competitive, and things can flare up, can't they? It gets quite tense at times.
Yeah, definitely. It's more competitive than I thought it would be going into it. At first, I thought it was just a little six-a-side run around, but once you're in it and you're playing, really see how competitive it is. There's a few ex-pros that have been playing. Kieran Clark's been one of the ex-pros in it. He's really good. Petr Cech played in it the other night. Still showed his quality. So yeah.
Didn't somebody chipped him? He wasn't happy about.
Didn't Troy Deeney have a go? I mean, you would have liked getting out there and mixing it. Did you play against Troy?
I didn't play against him. No, luckily not, because he ran a few players over and he did play. But yeah, it just goes to show that how many ex-pros are in it, and it goes to show like a lot of ex-pros walk into it thinking it's going to be a walk around, but it's actually quite hard.
Yeah. So
harder than they think.
You got MVP last year and you won it with your team. So how are you fixed for this weekend? You feeling confident, SDS?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling confident. We got a good shot. We're playing NDL, who are also a good team, but like I said, we're going to defend our title, so feeling really confident about that.
And who's your team? Who do you support? You're at Spurs, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're a Tottenham fan. Who's your team?
I grew up an Arsenal fan. Yeah, Dad grew up in Highbury, so inherited that.
Right, okay.
Can't win them all.
You're feeling confident about that, I take it, despite last night, are you?
I wouldn't say confident, just on Arsenal's past, Man City are a good team, especially towards the back end of the season, so a bit of a shaky position to be in for Arsenal fan right now.
Yeah. Well, look, enjoy it, the Baller League Final Four at the weekend. Good to talk to you, Kaziah. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
There we are. There is Kaziah Sterling there. And you can watch the Baller League Final Four for free on the Baller League YouTube channel this Sunday from 3 p.m. We enter the world of US sports. Big weekend in the world of the NFL. And Todd Mlin's going to join us and fill us in on that. And an historic moment in the past week in the NFL as well. So that's all to come. We'll have some clips of the week and we'll bring you those after Todd. We're here with Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
Super Bowl 60 on talkSPORT.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see props have been brought in. I'm wearing the Packers cheesehead hat. Andy's just wearing an oversized. Either that or his head shrunk in the last 10 minutes. So our latest competition has landed. This is your chance to be at the greatest show on earth, the Super Bowl, on Sunday the 8th of February. As well as a pair of tickets, we're chucking in flights to San Francisco, 3 nights accommodation and spending money, all covered. Listen up now for how your chance to win. Andy, what do they need to do?
Well, for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate. Or call 0343 418 7260. Lines closed 22nd of January 2026, 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. It's a network promotion. Honestly, a brilliant prize. The Super Bowl is really something special. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. That's
83338.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that.
We didn't get any entries, strangely, on Friday afternoon. That was weird. Very good competition. Anyway, let's stick with American sport now. Todd Mlin joins us. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hi, boys. Happy NFL wild card weekend.
Indeed. I'm wearing the cheesehead, and they're sponges. So when it rains in Wisconsin, do people just not get... This must weigh... It weighs enough of... I mean, these sponge hats, they're a really badly designed thing. I think I'm going to take it off now. So,
thankfully, they get more snow than rain in Green Bay, so it freezes more than it gets wet.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, maybe before we go to Wildcard Weekend, just a quick one on Black Monday. I know Andy and the guys spoke about it earlier in the week, but subsequently, I think a couple of more coaches have gone after the Monday. The Dolphins coach went on Wednesday. So that's 6 have lost their jobs this week, 8 for the season, including John Harbaugh, who's been at the Ravens for 18 years, got his marching orders.
Yeah, but just hasn't had a lot of success lately. Right? Like you look at John Harbaugh in Baltimore, won the Super Bowl. It was a long time ago. And as people said, he had more success with Joe Flacco than he did with Lamar Jackson. And I think that's probably what inevitably will be John Harbaugh's downfall, is just a lack of success with Lamar Jackson. And just some really good Baltimore teams that couldn't get over the hump lately. The good news for John Harbaugh, he will have a job, a head coaching job. He will be a head coach in the NFL next season, and I think he really will have his pick at where he wants to go.
That's interesting.
Let's talk about the wild card weekend. For people that don't know, I mean, the basic premise is that the top two seeded sides, they get a bye, but everybody else has to duke it out in this round, don't they?
They do, and just some incredible matchups in this round, specifically in the NFC. You've got a Green Bay Chicago game on a Saturday night. I mean, they've just one of the longest rivals in all of sports, North American sports, when the Packers and the Bears play each other. Then you've got the Eagles, the defending champs, against the 49ers. For a lot of people, 2 of the best teams in the NFC, but are going to meet in the first round. And then you've got a team like Buffalo. If you had told Buffalo at the beginning of the year, you're going to be in the playoffs, but Kansas City and Baltimore aren't, Buffalo really would have liked their chances to be playing at home. But Buffalo is likely, if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, have to win all their games on the road. And they have a huge test for them. I think they play on the Sunday. They're in Jacksonville. The Jags have won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really tough for Buffalo to break through and get to that long-awaited Super Bowl.
I wanted to ask you about Jacksonville because we keep an eye on them because of their London connections. So, I mean, have they got a chance? They sound like the momentum's with them, Todd.
Yeah, I mentioned the 8 wins in a row. If you look at them head-to-head just with Buffalo this weekend, both have incredible offenses. The defense in Jacksonville is much better than it is in Buffalo. And then if you're talking kicking game, I mean, there's no kicker who makes bigger and longer kicks than Cam Little with the Jags. So, listen, I know Buffalo is a favorite. I think Buffalo is favored by 1.5. But, for Jacksonville to be at home and to have those areas that they're clearly better than Buffalo, they've got a real chance, the Jags do, of upsetting the Bills.
You mentioned Cam Little there, 22 years old. He, as you said, kicker for Jacksonville. At high school, he played soccer, never really played football. Didn't even know how to put the pads on, didn't know the rules of the game. Went along to a practice and thought, I'll give that a go. And now he's in the Football Hall of Fame. He's kicked the longest kick in the game's history, hasn't he?
He is 68 yards. He kicked earlier this year, the longest. That is the new NFL record. Guys, he also has the second longest kick, which is 67 yards. Yeah. So it's pretty incredible, as you guys point out, just his lack of expertise in football. But listen, as a kicker, you really don't have to know much about the game. You got to know how to kick.
Yeah.
And he's got a super leg. And as I said, it's a clear advantage for Jacksonville that Cam Little gets them, not only in the Buffalo game, if they can continue on in the playoffs, just his ability to kick those long field goals.
It's amazing because it stood at 63 yards for absolutely years. Was it Tom Dempsey who had a sort of club foot, and he had a really weird
Really?
Yeah, it was a very strange thing, but it was a record that lasted for ages.
And when did he set that roughly? What sort of era, Andy? What, 70s? I think?
Todd, when do you think it was?
When did
in the 70s, when Tom Dempsey was kicking for the New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
And it, as Andy correctly points out, it lasted a long time. And then Justin Tucker, I believe for the Ravens, broke that record, eventually tied it and then broke it. And then now we're in the Cam Little era, right? Just 22 years old. Like, people are talking about possibly a 70-yard field goal, which again, like, that would have been unheard of.
Yeah.
But now is a possibility.
A game called off last night. Bulls played the Heat in Chicago, and it's an ice rink underneath the court.
Yeah.
And it was it was pretty warm, and the ice basically melted under the basketball court and made it slippery and unplayable. That's quite a rare occurrence, isn't it, Todd?
It is rare, but does happen, right? On these venues that have both a hockey team plus the basketball team. So what happened is the Bulls played, the Blackhawks, the ice hockey team, played on the Wednesday night, and then it was so mild and so much condensation that they just couldn't get the floor dry. So when they put the floorboards in, there was just too much wetness. Wow. So they couldn't play. And I think they delayed the game by about 2 hours, as they just basically, as we all do when we have a spill, right? We just put towels down and try and dry everything up. And they tried it for hours, a couple of hours, and then finally had to call the game. And they'll just make it up and play it another time. But yeah, if you're a fan going to the game, you're pretty unhappy, right? You plan on going to a game and then the game doesn't happen.
The Bulls mascot was on the ice, literally on the court for 2 hours trying to entertain the crowd. I would imagine by the end of it, you want to wring its neck, wouldn't you? There couldn't have been one funny thing it did. Anyway, just finally, Steve Kerr's a legend he was part of the great Bulls side, of course. He's now the Golden State coach. And he got very upset about a call the other day and went a bit nuts with the officials and had to be restrained by his own players. And his mum was there. She was watching. So after the game, she had a right go at him. She said, I didn't like that. I didn't like what you were doing there. I thought you were going to hit somebody. He said, oh, Mum, it's all theatre. She said, no, I didn't like that, Stephen. She probably called him Stephen. I didn't like that. So it meant afterwards his players were asked questions about whether their mums ever been mad at them after a game. And Steph Curry, his star player, had this to say.
100%. And then after the game, that's a hard phone call to pick up. You kind of want to just ignore it, but because you know what's coming for sure. So that's what moms do, keep you honest.
Yeah, ain't that the truth, Todd, isn't it, really?
It is. We should feel bad for Steve Kerr, guys, because the worst part of this story is he was right. So the officials missed a call on a goaltending call. So Kerr's Warriors were playing the Clippers. The Clippers goaltended, meaning that the Warriors should have had an extra basket, an extra 2 points. They didn't. So the officials missed the call. Steve Kerr was right. And the Warriors lost by 1 point.
Wow.
So they were denied a basket that's worth 2 points. They lost by 1. So, yeah, the officials missed the call. So, you know, their mom should have been upset with them for missing the call rather than Steve Kerr's mom upset with him.
Oh, good stuff, Tom. We'll catch up with you next week.
See you, boys.
We got loads of NFL wildcard weekend for you on talkSPORT 2. A doubleheader, Rams against the Panthers and then Packers-Bears. That's Saturday tonight from 9 p.m. And on Sunday, we're live in Philly, where our own Will Gavin will have play-by-play of the 49ers against the Philadelphia Eagles. So you can listen to every game of wildcard weekend. Download the talkSPORT app and swipe to talkSPORT 2. A little bit of football news. talkSPORT understands that Villa are looking to bring Conor Gallagher back from Atletico Madrid.
Good, very good signing for them.
He's found it very frustrating. I think the lack of game time. There's been a lot of talk about him coming back.
Him as well, didn't they?
I'd be very happy to have him back, considering the problems we got in midfield.
No, he's a very good player. I like him.
I can see the attraction of Villa over Spurs currently, but let's say he's one of those that wants to live in London. Let's pray for that, eh? But anyway, Conor Gallagher in Villa's sights, and we'll bring you more on that as we get it. But we have the clips of the week next.
Gabriel Martinelli's been called an idiot, a disgrace, classless and disgusting by various pundits. He's deeply sorry for throwing the ball at an injured Conor Bradley before hauling him off the pitch. Ray Parlour says Martinelli didn't realise how bad Bradley's knee was.
He will be devastated this morning, and I'm really pleased he's apologised straight away to him.
Yeah.
Which you do, you know, that's the first thing you do. The heat of the moment, people make mistakes, and Martinelli certainly made a big mistake there.
Bradley was seen leaving the Emirates on crutches. Arsenal's 0-0 draw means they missed the chance to go 8 points clear. Liverpool look more solid at the back, but still lack cutting edge up top.
We struggle much more than Arsenal against low blocks. And there are 20 goals difference between them and us in set pieces. But tonight we've shown again that we are still a team that everyone needs to reckon with.
Meanwhile, Man City have confirmed the signing of Antoine Semenyo for £64 million on a 5-year deal. Christian Romero will stay on as Spurs captain despite his apparent criticism of the board on Instagram. Thomas Frank says Romero is being dealt with. Nick Kyrgios won't play in this month's Australian Open. He's not ready for 5 set matches. 40-year-old Stan Wawrinka's got a wild card ahead of his retirement at the end of the season. And Ben Stokes is ready to have tough conversations with England's test players after their disastrous Ashes tour. He also admits his own performances weren't up to standard. Meanwhile, Aussie batter Steve Smith refused to confirm if he'll be available for next summer's Ashes in England. For more, head to talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube channel.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Our friendly colleagues are right behind you at over 580 stations. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT Clips of the Week. Time for the Clips of the Week with Toolstation. And we kick off the new year with Simon Jordan talking about Celtic.
Why wouldn't you just stay with Martin? Just stay. I know Martin O'Neill's not the future, but why wouldn't you just stay with Martin and give yourself a considered amount of time? Because there's no rush. What's the rush?
What's the rusk? It did lead to a long conversation with our producer and assistant producer about rusks.
Yeah,
and it took you back to your youth. You were brought up on them, which explains a lot.
Farley's rusks.
They're not. You try them as an adult. They're not. You know,
they do taste a bit odd now.
A bit. Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. What's next?
It's Alan Brazil on Breakfast with Ray Parlour, chatting about the big transfer of the week.
A reminder of the breaking news this morning. This is Semyon. Semenya.
Yeah, I wouldn't walk around saying Semyon.
No, not really. That's not
ideal. It's not a great idea. Sticking with Ray, he was very amused by this minor Alan mishap.
They could have done any more for the kids, sorry.
No.
I've just had a biscuit go down the wrong way. I really don't I don't think...
Blimey.
Not that funny.
I mean, it could have been fatal, couldn't it? Imagine like Ray. A bloke was choking me at the next table in the pub, and I could have done Heimlich, but I thought it was hilarious. Just let him go blue.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is a caller to the sports bar.
Ruben Amorim ain't got no pride to be the Man United manager. He was a duck on sitting water. I said it.
Yeah, you did say it, didn't you? You're the only person who's ever said it.
Doesn't mean anything.
What's a duck on sitting water?
No, nothing. Well, I mean, they're all on sitting water to an extent.
Well, let's not break it down. Let's not waste our time doing that. No. Here's Danny Kelly sitting in with Andy for a voiceless me on Monday with an interesting turn of phrase.
We'll be trying to get on a further guest in just a second, but it means, Andy, we've got an unlikely further opening for your bits.
I've got to be honest, Andy, I thought that ship had sailed.
I missed that completely. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I dream of that now.
Yes. Anyway, let's not go down that route either.
Back to Simon Jordan now, reminiscing about a couple of memorable former West Ham players.
Watching the team that you had on the field and watching the team that got relegated when you got compromised with the signings of Carlos Tevez and Javier Mascherano.
Of course, Tevez and Mascherano. How could we possibly forget the Argentinian duo? Hey, Mascherano.
Brilliant.
Let's get a news update from Amelia Beltrao.
Elsewhere today, a 65-year-old man has been fined 500 quid after admitting he dressed as an admiral.
Okay, well, I think that's quite... well, I can't think of the word.
Exactly.
Was he a rear admirable?
No.
Or was he just an admirable? What's next, Andy?
It's Alan Brazil here, chatting with Ray Parlour about prospective new Manchester United managers.
Someone needs to come in and play a 4-3-3.
Who though? Who'd you put? Who's out there? Who's a big name?
Alan went a bit owl there for a minute, didn't he? Big owl.
Big owl, yeah.
Yeah.
Who though? Who'd you?
Yeah, just I mean
that is a real owl, believe it. It's funny when you actually get those things. We researched it.
Well, you
doesn't really sound like an owl, does it?
Well, okay, I don't know, that sounded pretty much like an owl to me. So
we couldn't find one that went to Twitter woo.
That doesn't happen. So here's Alan once again asking betting expert Simon Clare for some tips on the African Cup of Nations.
I mean, just one quick one because I've got to break. Over in Africa, who's favourites now?
Australia.
You'd get great odds on them, wouldn't you?
They've done well there.
Yeah, it's like Eurovision, isn't it? All part of Africa if it's Eurovision.
No problem.
What's next, Andy?
Just time for one more from Simon Jordan here, talking Chelsea.
But they have not received one scintilla of benefit from Blue Coat ownership, then I can understand their argument. But I bet they have. And unfortunately in life, like most people don't want to, you have to take the good with the smooth.
Yeah, the good with the smooth. What happened to the rough?
Oh, we've had a lot of that lately.
One
win in 9. That's quite rough.
It's quite rough.
Yeah.
And finally, it's Adrian Durham and Stuart Pearce at the Emirates doing a bit of celebrity spotting.
And I noticed Patrick Vieira's watching in the stands as well. They could do with him. They could do with Dua Lipa stiffening up that midfield as well, couldn't they?
I'm not sure what she can stiffen up, to be honest with you.
Behave yourself, Stu, for goodness sake. Anyway,
one clip we wanted to put in.
That's right. Yeah, one clip is all it took. So thanks to everybody who suggested clips this week. Michael Fawcett, Glyn Barrington, not Glyn Barrington, not Glyn Barrington. Is it Ken Barrington, Glyn Barrington? You've got to have a system. Mo, I'm not doing that. Stu, Isabel Terry, Andrew Howe, Andrew Clayton, Jonesy, or was that Johnsy? Ivana Tickle. Oh, come on. Mo's Tavern. That's ridiculous. Steve Pye, Simon Wright, and Claire Hughes. Thanks to everybody who suggested clips this week that were played. If you hear a clip on TalkSport over the next 7 days, please do send it in to us. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. A day and a time is all we'll ever need from you so we can listen back and get a listen back.
Last one was from Rob Stokes as well.
Well done, Rob. Yeah. Thank you very much for those. And you can hear the clips of the week again as a podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Just look out for TalkSport Clips of the Week. And the H&J Daily, the Hawksbee and Jacobs Daily, a new one will be out. Really interesting chat with the former world freestyle champion turned property developer. It is quite the story. Liv Cook joined us for a chat, as did James Brown of Loaded fame, who popped into the studio. Looking back on the rock and roll years. So that and a whole lot more in the H&J Daily podcast, which again will be available in around 15-20 minutes, so you can listen back at your leisure. But we end then with our good friends at Paddy Power looking at a bit of a bet build if you fancy a flutter on our commentary game tonight between Wrexham and Forest. But for now, what's wrong, Andy?
Macca. Andrew McKenna's just texted me. It's a very Macca text. Apparently, one owl doesn't go to wit to woo. It's two owls, one going to wit, the other to woo. It's a call and response thing. Can you tell I watch a lot of daytime TV? Well done, Matt.
Blimey, Macca.
Well, it's
to get out more.
It's good to know.
It is good to know more. Yes. Where were we? Yes, we're here with our very good friends, Tool Station. They were the clips of the week.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Yes, just time for today's bet builder with our friends at Paddy Power. Max Thompson joins us now. We look forward to tonight's third round FA Cup game as Wrexham play Nottingham Forest at the race course. It's live on talkSPORT, of course. Good afternoon, Max.
Hey guys, how's things?
Yeah, not so bad. So tell us first how the bet builder works.
Yep, so we've got a bet builder here on the Wrexham Forest game tonight. So Paul's got a pick, Andy's got a pick, producer Sean has a pick, the people have a pick, which is the most popular bet on site at the minute, and I also have a pick. So these all come together for a 5-leg bet builder, which hopefully will win, and all the proceeds will go to our charity partner if it does win, which is the Attitude Foundation.
Excellent. Well, I'll kick us off. I do fancy goals tonight. I think both teams to score. A fairly safe-ish one to kick us off.
Yeah, you just have to look at the last few Wrexham games for this one. 5 of the last 6 games for Wrexham have seen both teams to score, so you could see that happening again tonight.
Andy, you've gone for the Forest win, haven't you?
Yes, I'm sort of regretting it now.
Really? Well, you think it might be the draw?
Well, I've got to stick with it, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Stan went for the Forest win as well. So, I mean, look, it's the most, I imagine it's the more popular bet, isn't it, Max?
Yeah, it's more popular, definitely. It's always a tough one, isn't it? Like, do you prioritise Premier League or a cup run? I think maybe for Sean Dyche, he'll want to keep that winning momentum going. So I could see Forest winning tonight as well.
Producer Sean has gone for Sam Smith to score any time.
Yeah, Sam Smith, the striker for Wrexham, in form. 2 goals in his last 2 games, so he will be the danger man up top for Wrexham.
The people, then, your popular bet with the punters. I mean, I can see why Morgan Gibbs-White to have 2+ shots on target.
Yeah, probably Forest's best player. The people have gone for him. 2 goals in his last 2 games as well for Forest, so he'll definitely be a threat for the away side. And
you think the Forest keeper's going to be busy?
Yeah, I just can see action at both ends. Wrexham entertaining to watch, so I'm sure they will test the Forest keeper tonight under the lights in Wrexham. I presume Matt Sells will be in goal for Forest, good keeper, so yeah, expect him to be busy.
3+ saves quite a lot, though, isn't it? 3, that means they're going to,
3 shots on target.
3 shots on target.
I mean,
it means
they're at home with that atmosphere.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And they're on a good run.
May well be right.
And Forest will make changes. I don't think that's a bad bet. So if it all comes off then, Max, what are we looking at odds-wise?
Yeah, it's quite a big one here. We've got around 75 to 1, so £10 would return £768, hopefully, for our charity partner.
Well, that would be good. Excellent. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the game, Max. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys. You too.
There we are. That's
back to the offices of the Attitude Foundation. Forget it.
Yeah. Mods 1 to 5 per leg, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Let's hear from the gaffers then. The big games this weekend. Newcastle host Bournemouth in the third round of the FA Cup. I don't know if anybody did ask Eddie Howe about Roy Keane's comments that he'd like him to be the next Manchester United manager.
What did he say?
I imagine the Newcastle press officer would have shut that down.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Eddie going, well, I might consider it,
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
They asked Eddie how he's viewing the competition this season.
I think if you go back to when I was playing, the third round of the FA Cup was sort of a standout moment. It was in the schedule very early in January, and I suppose playing in League One as I was at the time, that was your opportunity to get hopefully a big tie and play against a Premier League team. So it was a huge moment actually in my career. Now, as you say, when you're managing at this level, there's so many other games and competitions that it's lost its standalone feel. But I still feel the FA Cup is a magical competition that's never been lost on me. I've said that countless times over the years in the manager's shoes.
It's also a big opportunity for local radio commentators.
On Match of the Day.
There's some sort of upset that wasn't expected. Like BBC sort of.
It's a chance. Well, that's how the late great John Motson got his chance, wasn't it? He wouldn't have been anywhere near the top of Match of the Day had they not scored those great goals. Anyway, Antoine Semenyo has joined Manchester City.
Not what Alan called him.
No, that's not. No, he's not. I'm not saying that again. And Pep Guardiola gave the update on the new signing.
He used the both legs unbelievably, and the striker as well can play for his pace, and
he knows the Premier League, so many clubs want him, and he decided to join us. So all I can say, thanks to him. Yeah, really pleased for the next years.
I don't get it. They don't need him. They've got so many weapons.
I think they could just. I think it could really freshen things up. For them.
Yeah, maybe. But what they need is defenders.
Well,
He
it comes in at a time when I wouldn't say the goals are dried up, but they're not taking as many chances, not converting them.
They dropped 4 points this week.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Let's hear from David Moyes after Michael Keane's red card for hair pulling. David Moyes has shared his thoughts on the amount of fouls his side have been given this season.
Well, I didn't want to discuss any of the others because they've all gone in the past, but now you bring them up, it makes me think that, hey, by the way, maybe there has been a few more than it should have gone against us. But the recent ones are hard to take, we think. And by the way, the first person I'd admit it, if I thought it was, I thought Jack Grealish was wrong. But you're right, since then I've been showing other players who've clapped the referee and it's not returned in another booking or a sending off, for example. We've seen handballs. We've had quite a few against us. We've seen handballs that we've not been given as well. So now you mention it, yeah, I think there has been a few.
Yeah, he's right. The Grealish one was astonishingly poor referee.
Yeah, well,
a bit of man management.
I think it was only his second Premier League game. I think it was one of those where he thought
it was poor.
It was a real letter of the law one, wasn't it?
You're not going to go very far in the game if you don't man manage the
Well, let's hear from your gaffer in the time we have left. Liam Rosenior has spoke to the press for the first time as a Chelsea manager and expressed his mentality going to the club.
I think the turnover of managers now, regardless of club, is huge. The pressure is there from day one. I'm aware of that. If I wasn't willing to take on that pressure or that privilege, I think the bigger club you're at, the higher the pressure, but the higher the privilege. I have to take that into account. So for me, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow night. I couldn't wait to get here when we agreed the deal and meet the players and meet the staff who have been nothing but supportive, made me feel at home. It comes with the territory. If you're scared or if you're fearful, then there's no point being a coach. I've worked so hard pretty much my whole life for this opportunity. So now I'm just going to enjoy it, which is important. I'm going to work 24 hours a day. I'm intense when I'm with the players and I'm going to push them as hard as I possibly can to be successful.
There we are, this Liam Rosenior. And our work here is done, Andy.
It is.
We'll be back on Monday to reflect on the FA Cup. Graham Swan, the former England spinner turned commentator, will be with us in the studio for a deep dive on the world of English cricket.
Yeah, he's been quite interesting on the Ashes. He's been reasonably defensive, of the team. But
so Graham Swan joins us. Until then, enjoy the FA Cup football. We've got oceans of it for you here on talkSPORT. Have a great weekend. Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent up next with Drive.